We got Chad Simon on the Dr. Gold podcast.
Oh, boy.
Yep. The Prince of the City has returned.
Prince.
Prodigal son. The prodigal son of Pittsburgh.
No, oh, man. Not at all. No, I'm so freaked out. I'm so used to being the guy behind.
Carrying the bottles out to the club.
Yeah, something like
the
that.
The club goers.
Something like that. Or carrying a DJ bag, one of the two.
Yep. Yeah, man. It's wild how long you've known me.
Known you since you were 18?
Yeah, I pledged ZBT second semester.
We don't say pledge. No, I'm just joking. We don't do that anymore, buddy. I have no affiliation with ZBT anymore.
So then we can out everything.
Yeah, we can out that whole thing if you wanted.
No, I'm good.
Yeah, I've left that.
Although I'm friends with literally none of them. It's crazy.
Well, you guys all went your separate ways. That's all. You were like a collective group that were as strong as possible, but you were all different people. Every single one of you was different people.
I mean, I felt like the funny part was the people that I could have been friends with were the people that were the like conservative ones, like Steve Eisenberg and like a couple of the other ones that were like more on the conservative tip. Yeah. But at the time, I was full social justice warrior at Hillel.
You were a
doing
Chad
work
warrior.
Doing work for like showing Blood Diamond, like all about just bringing justice to the world
and fighting to save the world,
fighting the power. Yeah. So when I was, now it's like, am I going to be friends with JJ? He works for the Democrats, man. He's like heavy in the game.
You know me. I stay out of that entire world. I'm right down the middle. I think both sides are crazy. They're all crazy. If I could live in my own little forest and not have to deal with politics, it would be spectacular. No. But I'm a very black and white person. Yeah. So I don't know. I like I say, I'm not rich enough to let it bother me, and I'm not poor enough to let it affect me.
What's your connection to Pittsburgh? You were born and raised here?
Yeah, I was born and raised down the street, Mount Lebanon.
Wow.
Unfortunately.
Your dad was one of my grandma's pupils.
Yes, I know. It goes so far back. It's wild.
She used to show up. My grandma taught. That's her poster over here. Hang on. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Did you ruin it?
No, it's all good.
Go slow, dude. Oh, shit.
This is Bicky Goldzer.
That's the most Jewish nickname I've ever seen in my life.
Hold that shit up so they can see it. That's Bicky Goldzer. Hold it down a little. Yeah, Bicky Goldzer State Committee right there. There you go. Go for the Goldzer, it says. Hold it up. Hold it up. Go for the Goldzer. There you go.
See his grandma? Bud?
The youngest of 8. She was a politician in Pittsburgh. People used to call her the mayor of Squirrel Hill, but she also taught kids how to read. And one of the kids she taught?
Young Kenneth Lee Simon.
How would he have made his way to Squirrel Hill?
My dad grew up in Squirrel. Went to Shady Side. He went to Shady Side. My aunt went to Winchester.
And then you guys moved to the South Hills and had you?
No, I mean, my dad met my mom at Pitt. My mom was my dad's sister's little sister. And my dad was in ZBT, and she was which one's the female one? Phi.
Oh,
I forget.
Phi.
Yeah, she was an Phi. So, yeah, that's how they met, and they moved. I don't know. They always lived in Mount Lebanon. They lived like closer to Upper St. Clair when I was really young, and then we moved out towards like Mount Lebanon on the border near Scott.
What was the first connection you had to music? How did you end up so
I always loved music. One of my boys in high school, Nick, was 2 years younger than me, and he started DJing. And
in Pittsburgh?
Just at Sewickley, where I went to school, Sewickley Academy. And he did like the subs for my car, all that stuff. I was in the music because I ran all the sound and lighting at Sewickley Academy. I was the only one with the key to the entire school. Like, I would go to the auditorium when I was supposed to be in class. I was deep. I love nothing more of it. So,
How did you end up so interested in music but not playing any instruments or DJing?
because I thought I would do sound, but I got a scholarship from the Harlem Boys Choir came and performed at Swickley Academy for a week. And the night before the last performance, the headmaster of the senior school, his name was Dr. Ferris, a little old Southern lady who I was very close with. And he asked, he's like, who does all the sound and lighting? She's like, Chad, he's like, he's 17 years old. There's no way he could do this. And I guess he made a phone call and they presented me with a scholarship to Juilliard. But the queen of my household was not letting her son go to New York City.
That's mom.
Yeah.
This was just the very first of a lifetime rift.
Yeah, you know, I am just before we say all this, like my mother, I know where this is probably going to go. My mother has done a lot of great things for a lot of great people.
Yeah.
Um, but her and my father have lived a very bubbled life, I would say. They've never gone outside the comfort zone. It's always my dad went to Pitt, went to Shady Side, went to Pitt, went into the business. My mom went to Pitt, she got married, and she's always had money. So, um, I like to tell people about my youth, like just like looking back at it now. And I mean, I'm sure during this interview, you'll hear about the last 15 years of my life, but like over the last couple of months, I've just come to peace with it all and looking back that I got everything I wanted. I learned nothing about life. I mean, absolute. If you would have seen me when I got dropped off in Hartford, Connecticut at college,
Yeah.
I mean,
That's how they got you to
oh,
do the
dude,
things you did.
I was literally crying. I was literally crying when my parents left.
You hadn't they hadn't like taken you on long trips. You hadn't been like
No,
outside
I
the
played
country
hockey,
before,
man.
and
I played hockey. That's it. I played hockey, or I was in my parents' basement playing Sega Genesis or air hockey. One of the two. So, yeah. Yeah. So the Juilliard thing was really pissed me off because I thoroughly enjoyed doing light and sound and all that stuff. So it's just kind of weird where I've ended up and who my friends are. Because if you ever see me at one of the concerts,
yeah.
I'm not backstage to be cool. I'm backstage because I want to watch those people do the work. Like when I go to those shows early, like I love watching them rig stuff up. I'm a dork.
Totally.
Like I
see
love that
that.
stuff.
I see that. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
and
used to
like
get into us planning the parties and kind of like being
yeah,
behind the scenes and everything.
yeah, that's what I love doing that stuff.
Huh.
I just never got the opportunity.
They have a school for it here.
Yeah, Tech 25.
Wayne's project. He donates to them.
Wayne is on the board.
Yeah.
Wayne teaches class. I am gonna go back and get certified.
Dude, fuck yeah.
To do lights.
What if you did lighting? Like, what if you were just like did all the lighting design and got involved? Like, do you know who the dude in South Carolina is? It's with a B. Fuck. He's like the big AI guy.
No, I don't have a idea.
I've been his own studio.
I've been so far out of that world.
He does like one piece of art a day that's 3D rendered. Yeah. Say it again. Beeple? Yeah, Beeple. So like a lot of people use the Beeple designs behind them when they DJ. And he has a website where he just sells them. You can go on there and get these packs for, the big LED screens, like the LED walls behind you and in front of you. And people need that shit. Like, there's so many like electronic
Yeah.
music DJs out there right now that are just
Wheezy
in that world.
talked to me about that a couple weeks ago, and I have some stuff that I'm doing right now. But the next round of classes, I'm going to go back and get certified because
Let's go.
everything I did back in the day was manual. Now it's
Yeah.
all digital. I'm talking like I had something in front of me
Well,
from here to the
sometimes that shit is
stairs.
the illest too, though, because I used to rock at this place called the Milky Way in Boston. It was part of the Sam Adams Brewery in like near South Boston. It's like Jamaica Plain.
Yeah.
And the dude who did lights there used a projector and oil. He just had like an overhead
my
projector with these little drops of oil, and he'd be just dropping oil
you
and
never heard of
stirring
that?
that shit up on an overhead projector. It was so dope. It was trippy as
That
fuck
sounds
'cause it was
trippy. That's
pure
what
analog. Like everything about it was analog. So I guess people have been doing that for 50 years. Like people have been using that technique to generate visuals, you know?
Yeah, like everything I did back in the day from the musicals and all that stuff, man, like I wouldn't have enough time in the day. Like when I tell you, like my best friend from high school, Steve, is actually coming home this week. It's weird that I'm talking about this. But my junior and senior year of high school, I never went to class. I was so because they had fired somebody at Swickley, and that would like do like the low maintenance stuff, like for people coming in to speak and stuff like that. They didn't have anybody, so it was me. I didn't go to class. I would just take tests. Like nobody
You
knew.
were one of those kids that didn't have to study. You could kind of float by
Yeah,
because you were
I
smart,
was never. Yeah,
but not
I
motivated.
love to play stupid. Yeah, completely not motivated.
Uh,
I mean, yeah, I knew what I wanted to do
which
my
was
entire
what?
life, which was
Go into the business.
go into my family's business.
Yeah. You saw how much money they were making.
It had nothing to do. I
You knew it was an easy way to have a family, have a life. Like,
nah, it's all I knew. Like when I tell you my entire childhood, if I was off from school, I was with my dad. I was either cutting rags in the back with the old ladies, or I was helping box something at 8 years old. I mean, dude, I got pulled out of class at 13 so I could go take my forklift license test. I was more excited for the forklift license test than my driver's license test, just because I had been there my entire life. My
Well-
great grandfather started it.
wow.
So it's just what you did. And to me, it wasn't even a job. Like I wanted to go, like I wanted to do it. The business I went into was not the business I grew up in. The family really started to split by the time I came into the business. So, because I never finished college, I didn't want to go to college. That was not the plan. The plan between my grandfather and my dad and me was for me to come right into the business. Actually, I forgot I left people out. The headmaster and the senior school master at Swickley Academy told my parents that it was not that I got all I needed from education from Swickley if that's what I was going to do. That I needed to go to CCAC and take financial classes so I can learn how to read the books and certain stuff like that. But that wasn't my plan. So
It was
not my plan to go to college.
yeah. And the person that you were trying to bring up was a step.
No, so the headmaster of Swickley,
Yeah.
the headmaster of the senior school at Swickley, and my dad and my grandfather. They had called my dad and grandfather
Yeah.
because they had not had any luck with my mother. My mother she had her own.
This is in regard to keeping you out of college. Mom wanted you
Yeah.
to go to college. Everybody
Well,
else wanted you to go
my
straight to the
mom's
business.
family, my mom's father, who I love. I don't get along with my grandmother. Well, I didn't. She's not with us anymore. But they own Newman and Company, which is the largest cardboard manufacturing plant in Philadelphia in the entire world.
That's right. So mom came from real money,
Oh,
like crazy, next level.
let's just say my grandfather just up and retired one day, and we asked why. He said, I looked at this stock and I looked at the world and I said, oh, I got to get out now. At its peak. It couldn't go any
before
farther.
2008 or whatever.
Yeah, went down to Florida, built a big ass house,
Yeah.
said, I want to fly. took him, took his flying lessons, bought a twin engine plane, and I said, "Why did you buy a plane?" He said,
twin engine
do
Cessna.
you want to sit with her all day? I can fly down to Naples with my buddies and then fly back and not get in trouble. So
I love it. Yeah, the air up there, man. So can you talk about Dad's business? So it was plexiglass and sheet metal?
No. It's called Armstrong Cover Quick. It was founded in 1926 in Armstrong County. It was literally a rag company. They would buy big bales of old jeans and corduroys and T-shirts.
A schmata company.
Yes.
You bought schmatas.
Yes.
And what did you do with the schmatas?
And we just had not like a
machine.
The machine just to split
ripped them up.
Yeah. And then we do them 25-pound boxes.
Oh, you were selling
to steel mills.
Rags.
Yeah. That's what he did. That's how he started the business.
Wow.
He sold the rags into Carnegie Steel.
Wow. That's Grandpa's business?
Yeah, and what's my great-grandfather, Alvin.
This is outside Pittsburgh?
No. He lived right...
Armstrong.
Yeah.
Which is where?
Armstrong County is where Katanning is. He was up there because it was cheap up there. And he started selling rags, and one day, I guess they started slitting steel for the first time in a certain new way. And the guy said, well, this wool stuff is getting... Back in the day, there's no polyester felt. There was only wool felt. And the wool felt they started making more stuff for like outwardly with metal, instead of metal being like the interior and the beams and stuff. They started doing it so it couldn't be scratched. And wool scratched because it was abrasive. And the guy said to him, hey, if you can find me something else, you got all of our business. So that's when he moved down to McKees Rocks, the bottoms of McKees Rocks, the shithole end of the world. That is what it is. I grew up there, basically. I may be from Mount Lebanon, but I spent majority of my life in McKees. They don't call it the bottoms for no reason.
Pittsburgh used to be called the Forks.
Yeah. Really?
That was the first name.
I never even heard that.
Yeah, when you watch all the old George Washington documentaries, the first battle that was fought where he became the leader in the French and Indian War was to defend the Forks, which is because there was no city yet. It was just Fort Duquesne.
Fort. I thought you meant like Forks.
Yeah. Fort Duquesne. No, it was the Forks. The forks of the Allegheny and the Monongahela River combining to form the Ohio.
And I'm not even high.
Pittsburgh. The Forks.
Purposely. So he...
We'll do the first half.
No. I knew I was coming to do this, so I needed to be completely of one mind.
Good. I love it.
So he started that, and they moved to McKees. Actually, no, I lied. They moved to the north side, Spring Garden Avenue. And that burnt. So they started selling felt to steel service centers.
Yeah. So it was because of the change in how steel was being used. They needed brushed steel that was polished.
He was the only person
equipment
in the entire country who sold felt for steel mills.
And felt was the old rags that were ripped up.
No, felt is felt. Like,
where was he getting the felt? What is felt?
From different polyester manufacturers. So felt, they goes down from 1/16 and 18 ounces up to 3/4 inch thick, 160 ounces. It depends on which steel, how hard you're running. Yeah, I never talk about this with anybody, so I get a little excited.
What is felt, man? What is felt?
Felt is polyester, woven just like a carpet, stuff like that. It's white.
What is polyester?
It's a fabric.
Made of plastic or something?
No, polyester, woven polyester. It's like needle punched felt. So it gets just like they make carpet, they make felt. Just like felt, like the green felt you see on a pool table, just in an industrial.
Okay.
And different lengths, ounces, all that stuff. So basically we would have like I'll just say one of the names, Felters Group. It's in South Carolina. I think they've been bought since then. Been out of the business for like 15 years.
Yeah.
And then there's a place called Bucart up in Woonsocket, Rhode Island that makes it. And then there's a place called Texel in Canada that makes it in Montreal. And then there's another carpet company that makes felt.
So you guys were buying raw materials
Buying raw
and you had
materials.
machines.
No, they made it. We cut it.
You were literally just buying big sheets of some
Rolls.
of some fabric,
1,000-pound rolls.
cutting them. You had
Cutting them
machines that cut
using a
them.
shears, hand shears.
You had
Back in the day, not
all
now.
you had was a pair of scissors, and you were
No,
making
hand
millions
shears,
of dollars.
mechanical shears.
Okay, you had some machines
Yeah.
that would cut these things.
They
and then
would
you
lay them
sell
out,
to
chalk
somebody
line
else.
them,
Yeah.
because every slitter, which is if anybody's driven down a fucking highway in this world, you've seen a big steel coil. So on the back of it, everybody's seen a big steel coil. Well, where we come in is when they take that steel, they taking that coil somewhere is to get slit. It gets slit down to different lengths before it gets punched into something or formed into something.
So you weren't just processing fabric; you were also processing steel.
No, the people we sold it to processed the steel. Steel processors is what they're called. I know.
I'm so fucking confused, man. I can't
hey,
tell what you guys were actually doing. So,
listen, you try to go on a date and explain this shit.
What you
Thank
ended
God
up
for
doing was a sales role, right? You were traveling around the country.
I did a lot.
Selling shit.
Well, I worked at the company twice. So when I left school, I got a job because my mom was she did not appreciate the family business because my dad's from a family business. She's from a family business. I've never had to talk with her about this of why. And I probably did ask her and she probably told me it was none of my business. That's the rule and that's how it's going to go. But I mean, it was just destiny, man. Like she wasn't going to keep me out of there for so long. Like I came back, I was working at Sam's Club. I was miserable. I mean, I worked so close to the office for a reason that I would go there on my lunch break.
So your mom didn't want you working at the family business?
No, don't know why. Don't hold that against her. She obviously has a reason. Maybe her father wasn't around that much. Okay. Don't know. Okay. I'd be lying if I told you why.
Okay.
But it got to a point where I think either my grandfather or my grandmother was like, listen, he's going into this is what he wants to do. You can't you can't keep him away from it because he's there every day on his lunch. So it was just very natural to me. I mean, if I played a hockey tournament, I went on business with my dad on Thursday.
And you did well, right? Like you took to the work and succeeded?
Yeah, the first round, the first time I was there, I was working. I did the way you're supposed to do it when you should work. You should never go work for your family and just go straight into the office. I spent 3 years working in that plant. Now I had worked in that plant every summer of my life, sweating my life away. But I worked, and then I started doing like inside sales, and I met a girl.
What's inside sales?
Inside sales, I was basically assisting my dad on the road. There's a guy, Kevin Roy, there that did all the pricing. And basically, I was just a person to communicate with my dad and Kevin. I was kind of like the go-between.
What was the name of the company?
Armstrong Cover Quick.
Armstrong Cover Quick.
KOVER.
It still exists?
No, it got bought.
You sold it?
No, I didn't sell it.
You didn't have any points?
We'll get into that. Yeah, it recently got sold at 99 years and 3/4.
Wow.
Couldn't tell you if I was more mad that they sold the business or they couldn't just
3 months.
Just sign the agreement and say you guys can take control of this in 3 months. You can basically run it. It's just going to be called. I mean, it pissed me off bad. But I did inside sales, and then I met Miranda, and I wasn't making that much money, so I worked at a firehouse too. I was bar backing with Asante, and Boomer and Nugget was DJing. Bonics.
Oh, Firehouse. I thought you were talking about an actual firehouse.
No, come on now.
Yeah.
This Jewish person is the one getting saved, not saving people.
Firehouse was an amazing scene, and I had one of my favorite stories from DJing there. One of the first times I realized I was going to be a DJ for the rest of my life, I was walking in with Bonics, and it wasn't walking in because he had all the gear. The only way to get in both of our favorite DJs. So in order to get in, which we can't say both of our favorite Pittsburgh DJs because he's not a Pittsburgh DJ anymore. Bitches worldwide now.
Yeah.
Let's go. Fucking, he's not just Wiz Khalifa's DJ now. He's Snoop Dogg's DJ. Let's go.
Yeah, it's wild.
So we're walking up to the gig because he was DJing on the back deck, but it was pouring rain, and I had to carry the speakers. He was bringing his own booth monitors to like, take the party to another notch. I've talked about this all the time about how he will do anything to make the party pop, like bring his own gear, put up his own flyers. Doesn't matter. Like he's completely selfless and just make like all he cares about is creating
music,
a scene and doing it for the right reason. So I was walking up this step ladder up into the booth, and when I get in, immediately I'm completely overwhelmed by this feeling of not just like my glasses fogging up, and like not being able to see, but it was just so disorienting having all these people around me stomping on that back deck, feeling this incredible noise, hearing this sound, and just like feeling like I belong behind the decks, not in this mix with everybody else, but in this.
I felt completely opposite way. Even though I have to go back to finishing the other thing, when I would watch Brandon DJ, the minute when he turned the corner after the first like year of really DJing, I knew right away. I'm sure we'll get to this when we talk about DJs. I don't understand how you guys pick the next song. Like I understand it, but my
you
mind
literally just look at the list and
no. I know that. I meant
no, I'm kidding.
I meant where your brain's going. Like I like when we talked about like the Juilliard stuff and me doing sound and light design and stage tech and stuff like that. Like that's my thing. I'm always the guy behind the scenes.
It's the hardest part about DJing, actually, what you're talking about, which is sequencing.
Yeah.
And it's the fastest thing you lose. It's the part that I'm the worst at right now because I'm so out of practice. Because it really is the opposite of what I said. I was completely being facetious when I said we look at a list. What you actually have to do is look at the people and know the right song.
Yeah.
The best DJ in the world never looks at the computer to figure out the right song. They just type in the name of the next one that's the correct vibe. Yeah. In fact, I've thought about this a lot, but there should be a DJ app that won't let you look at a pre-list. The only thing you can do is type in the name of a song and have it come up if you type it in correctly. And that shit would create the ultimate vibe, because if you don't know the name of the next song you want to play without looking at it first, you don't know the right song. There's no way you can create the perfect atmosphere, perfect vibe by pulling it out of the past. It has to be for the future, for the present, for what you're seeing in front of you.
Well, you know where I've worked, and I'm sure we'll get there, like the king. But like, where was I on the whole thing? Like,
well, we were talking a little bit about
the family business.
Yeah, we talked about Armstrong.
I got engaged.
This was to, what was her name?
Miranda.
Yeah, Miranda.
So
do you have gum?
Yeah.
It's gonna sound crazy, bro. You need some trash?
No, I have trash. No, I got trash. Look.
You sure? All right. Cool.
I always carry that.
Who else was chewing gum on my podcast? Fucking Climax. Oh my God.
Oh, that's Bobby. That's Bobby. Climax is the man, though. I
love him. Yeah, he told
Bobby.
some wild fucking stories on here.
Bobby's got some stories.
Woo.
Bobby and I were talking about Colombia last night, actually.
Yeah, he travels a lot.
Yeah.
He got his family and shit.
Yeah, he takes care of his mom.
Mm-hmm.
Got engaged to Miranda.
Yep.
So
he got Mirandized.
Yeah. I would be Mirandized every day of the week. So I was basically like working 5 days a week and then be in Rochester, New York, every weekend of my life. And I'm watching how I say this because I'm trying to improve my family situation. Let's just say my family is not very accepting of...
She was Shiksa?
She's worse.
Uh-oh.
She was half Italian, half black, and...
Oh, come on, Chad! What'd you do, man?
Should have seen my dad's face. My dad and my grandfather were happier than hell for me. My mother...
Yeah,
not
wasn't feeling that.
Nah, we have, I think the 2.5 years we were together, I got my mother to sit down for one meal with her. So we got engaged, and I took her to meet my mother's side of the family.
Yep.
Which I love my Aunt Diane, and I love my Aunt Louise, even though me and my Aunt Louise we're very similar. So we Definitely don't watch our mouths. So we'll both get in trouble a lot to each other. But yeah, they weren't feeling it, dude. They weren't feeling her having a kid already. She had already had a
Oh,
kid.
fuck, Chad.
Well, I didn't care. She made me happy, man.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, listen, I've
You still love
never
her?
not love her, not love her.
Like follow her on the internet and like know what she's up to
We
or talk?
talk. I don't. We talk.
Yeah.
We talk like once a month.
Were,
But
were
she's happy. She's married.
were you in love?
Oh,
Head over
yeah,
heels. Like,
done. Like, dude, she couldn't go to sleep without hearing my voice. Like, I've had plenty of girlfriends in my life. Hi, Jamie, and Jamie's now my best friend. But
that was,
yeah, nobody made me feel more important
oh, that's awesome.
than her.
Heartbreaking.
Yeah, and it did that whole experience at Thanksgiving. Because she was like, "Wow, I want you to come up here for Christmas since like you're Jewish.
Yeah.
I'll come with." I was like, "I don't think it's a good idea." Well, you don't want me to meet your family? I'm like, this ain't the side of the family for that.
Right.
Now, my cousins were awesome. My cousins don't care.
Totally. But it's that old school like Jewish thing.
Dude,
And we
one
experienced
of
it
my
too.
aunts walked up to her
Yep.
and said, "Have fun mixing in with this family."
The
And
wow. It reminds me a little bit of the AJ situation in Sopranos. I've been talking a lot about the Sopranos. I fucking love the Sopranos, but you know the girl from the
yeah,
construction site. I forget her name.
she was Latina, yeah.
Yeah. And then the other thing it reminds me of is my situation with Grace. So when I started dating Grace and things got serious, we got like before we were engaged, I took her to see my grandma at her like retirement community in
Yeah.
South Florida. It was like 99% Jewish, and all her friends were Jewish, so they had this Hamantaschen baking night on Purim.
Oh my
And
God.
so we were all sitting down baking Hamantaschen. Everything was wonderful. It was like Grace was sitting there helping my grandma fold up Hamantaschen and put things in. And this woman looks at her, looks Grace straight in the eyes and goes, "You're not even Jewish, are you?" She's not Jewish.
Yeah, see, now my father's parents, Tricky Dicky and Double Stuff,
Wow.
did not tell them purposely. They're the most accepting people I know.
Yeah.
But she was like, "Oh, you got to show me a picture. I've heard her voice. She loves you." Turn around. My grandma, she turned the corner. My grandfather got a big shit grin on his face because she was like, if you saw us walking down the street, you would think I was her friend.
She was gorgeous.
Yeah.
Like,
I was
drop dead,
way
yeah.
out of my league. And I know
What do you think
nobody's
she
out of
liked-
anybody's
What do you
league.
think she liked about you?
I don't give a fuck. I'm just me, man. Like, I've started playing wars in this city. I'm just who the fuck I am. And you're either going to like me or you're not going to like me. There's no gray. And that's cool. But like, I've never had a girl. She wanted to spend time with me. And that was different. But like my grandmother, when her started cooking dinner together, they were
That's
perfectly happy. But that, she got pregnant with my kid. I called my mother on a cruise. So I called the cruise company, which called the cruise ship, which had my mother called to call me. And she, exact words were, "You bothered me for this shitty information." And I had her on speakerphone. Let's just say me and Miranda did about 2 8-balls that night. It was starting a spiral. She wasn't picking up my calls. And I bought a house in Brookline for us. She came down. She bought the house. She actually had dinner with my mother that night. 3 days later, she was coming back down because I flew her down to look at a house to make just. I was about to sign the papers, but I was like, "Hey, you might want to come look. I'll just fly you in. It's Rochester. It's like 20 minutes." And she had dinner with my mother. Supposedly everything went well. That's what I got told. On New Year's Eve, we were going to not to the Goldmark. Sorry, I was thinking about Nugget because Nugget DJ'd that night. We were going to the Firehouse with Asante and Mike Mariani and their girlfriends. And I got a text message, and I know people are going to find this rough to hear, but it is what it is. I'm not having your baby, and I'm flushing it down the toilet. So the kid, Chad Simon, who has never had to deal with a single thing, that was the first thing he dealt with. So I called my mother. I'm a mama's boy.
Yeah. Yeah. We
And
all are. We all are.
well, if you just met me now, you wouldn't think so. But I am Linda Simon. I'm just one with a bigger heart. I went to my mother, and the only thing my best friend Pierre drove up from DC after he heard this. I told his girlfriend, like, yo, I can't do it. I got to go up there. He's going to lose it. Came up, and he's like, we got to go to your parents. You got to go see your mom. Yeah. She's like, get over it. So then Pierre's like, what? Like, literally. And Pierre is very close with my family. Pierre has been coming. You met Pierre a million times. Been in a fraternity house. Like, Pierre's my right hand.
Yeah, I know who exactly.
Yeah. So, he just turned to me. He's like, man, that's weird. And man, I fell down a deep hole, man. I was doing 1 to 2 8-balls a day. Still getting paid. Think anybody ever called me? I'm talking about for 4 months. Was not at work. Still kept getting a paycheck. Not a call.
You were still working for the family business?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not a call.
But you weren't doing anything?
Nope.
Just drugs?
Not a call. Didn't see my parents and hear from them for 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
I got a sporadic text from my dad that I wouldn't answer. Because I thought night was day, day was night, dude. I thought people were coming at the house. Like, I was not eating.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Living in Pittsburgh?
Living in my house that I bought for me, my stepson, and the kid on the way.
Wow.
Because if you, like, people hear me call myself Uncle Chad, like, nobody wanted a kid more than me. Nobody. Now I'm kind of happy that doesn't happen. I like being Uncle Chad. I can give him back at any time. But yeah, man, it was a dark hole, man. And I finally broke down. I went to the office, and my dad, holy shit, the light's on in your office. Are you okay? And I was like, close the door. It's like, I'm fucked up. He's like, what are you talking about? I was like, dude, I haven't been here in 4 months. It's like, well, we were just giving you your space. And I was like, I'm cool. Like, he's like, what do you mean you're fucked up? I'm like, just dropped a big old bag on the table and just did it right in front of him.
Wow. Just
because clueless, man.
Yeah, he had no idea how deep into it you were.
When I talk about my parents, it's not personal, man. They grew up in a bubble. I grew up in a bubble, but I got out of that bubble going to Hartford. I mean, dude, you want to talk about an eclectic group of people.
Mm-hmm.
And it just showed me the world. Like, I was going to Boston and New York every night for $15 on Amtrak.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, like, I told him before, like, dude, my first time out, I'm sorry to get off topic, was at the tunnel. Like, not the tunnel, Fugazi tunnel at a hotel.
No, the real deal in New
York City. The real deal,
yeah.
dude.
Manhattan?
$25 for the Captain and Coke. That was like my whole budget for the night. Yeah, dude. I saw Funk Flex DJing.
Yeah.
It changed my entire, I mean, I love sound already, but like, dude, Funk Flex, like I'm from Pittsburgh, dude. Like 60 minutes of fun, like crazy. So to see him there and talking with that voice, it was wild. But like, yeah, like I asked for help, and I did. I went to rehab in Laguna Beach, California. It was very relaxing.
Not the only time you would ever go to rehab?
This is the way I look at rehab.
Yeah.
Let me tell you. So the only request I had for rehab was that I could have my cell phone. I couldn't.
Isn't that how you get the drugs?
Well, it wasn't about that. It was I needed to talk. Like Pierre and Wayne are the same. Like, I don't know what I would do without Wayne.
Right.
I could not be out of touch with Pierre. For myself. Now I'm going all the way to California for 60 days, man. Like, I just needed, the other places were more lockdown, hospital.
Mm-hmm.
I knew what I needed. I just needed to get the fuck out. I need to get out of that house.
Yeah.
I need to get out of Pittsburgh. I told people, like, I never did I did the steps while I was there. We did the meetings. Talking about it does help.
NA has the same 12-step kind of deal.
Yeah.
Because you didn't have an
this
issue with
rehab,
alcohol, right?
no.
It was always cocaine.
Yeah, like, to me, I'm not a mixer.
Yeah.
It's not either I'm gonna do one or I'm gonna do the other.
And it was just snorting cocaine.
Yeah, bro. That's why I'm so damn nasally all the time. Like, I fucked my nose up, even though it's rebuilt to begin with.
For what it's worth, when you were our chapter advisor and everything, I had no idea that you were even involved with any kind of drugs.
It had always been
any interest?
End of the night thing.
Yeah.
I don't want to be hungover next morning. I'll do a couple bumps, but like back then, when your mom's like, tough shit, your kid's gone, I didn't have anybody else to turn to. I'm not going to talk to my boys and be crying to them. I mean, back then, like, this just wasn't where I was at. So rehab to me was awesome. It was the first time I got to spend time on myself. And on a joking note, it is every Jewish person's dream. And I never had unlimited supplies of everything bagels and Philadelphia cream cheese. I was literally, I gained, well, I mean, I was like a stick.
Yeah, you weren't eating because you were doing something.
I was eating. It was
what was it about the cocaine that you think made you
I just
keep
stopped
doing
thinking, bro.
It would turn off your brain. Like you could just.
I could decompress.
Yeah.
Like I was not a guy to go out and about on that shit. I'd rather be at my house.
Watching TV?
Back in the day, I'd be at my house downloading music.
Wow.
I go down just dark holes, dude. I've got 15-something hard drives full of Napster, BearShare, and LimeWire.
Yeah, 128 kilobyte MP3s.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, probably. One of them.
Jams,
one of those things is full of music videos from Rap City in the basement.
That's fun.
So,
I used to play music videos at 5801 when I used to live in the basement.
I did all the, I was on Division I basketball team. I was an undergraduate assistant coach. I did all like the mixtapes for like shoot around and stuff. So
that's cool. That coaching thing I think is worth talking about though, because you were always. It's not just that
I'm always in the background.
No, not in the background.
No, they're all background jobs though. Like none of them give praise.
No. I think it's worth talking about your leadership skills and potential. Because that's really what you were kind of hovering around when you were a chapter advisor for the fraternity, when you were coaching, right? It's like you do have this ability to command respect, to convince other people what the path they need to go on is, etc.
Then, yes, looking at it now, I definitely do that because I pull DJs aside, and it has nothing to do with DJing. It has to do with what the fuck they're doing outside of DJing.
Yeah.
And the path they're taking. Now, everybody deserves to go down their own path. And who the fuck am I to tell them? But when I see old Chad, I make sure to let them know about it coming. Because I don't want people to make the same mistakes. I want people to be able to call their friends or be able to call me because I'm older. Because, dude, I'm trying to tell you, those 4 months of doing coke, bro, didn't know where the fuck I was. It's angry. I was angry. Like, I've been angry for the last 14 years, but like...
But you were somebody that I turned to for advice and things like that.
Well, it's because
that's why it was so shocking when I was at that party and you did the whipped cream check. I'm like, who is this guy? Like, he's trying to just like what is this? He's trying to get me laid or something.
To let everybody know, Isaac and I are both in Zeta Beta Tau. Not only did I grow up to be selling felt and fabric rolls at Armstrong Cover Quick, I was also born in to the longest legacy of any fraternity in the country. There's never been 4 people in the same fraternity.
It's wild. Yeah.
And both my dad and my grandfather are national presidents. I was never going to go down that route. I am not one for society like those things.
What a terrible business. Can you imagine just like the liability that's associated
the liability with these phones now? So I used to be Isaac's fraternity. My dad finally got sick of being the fraternity advisor just because he didn't relate to you guys at all.
Yeah, I thought he did a decent job.
Yeah, well, he's a cornball.
But he just wasn't in touch.
My dad is never the one to put the foot down.
Yeah.
That would be my mother. So, like, before the fraternity got canceled the first time, before you guys came back, he would bring my grandfather in. Because Tricky's the nicest guy in the world.
Meeting him.
Till you piss him off.
He showed up at our chartering ceremony.
I made him come. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a photo with him.
So
it's actually a good picture with me and Tabs.
Yeah. So back in the day, I was their fraternity advisor. I was 28, 29. So
yeah,
back then, Pitt made this goddamn decision that these kids couldn't throw a party in the fraternity house without the advisor being there.
This is cap. In the words of PK Pooh, this is cap.
Yeah. So it was a rule.
No.
It really was. It was a rule.
And our female consorts.
It was a rule. It was a rule, and I was the only one abiding by that rule because it gave me an excuse to go to the fraternity house. So
because the music was good, because I was DJing.
Well, yeah, and Brandon would come DJ.
Rarely. When I would book him, when I would bring him in.
Yeah. So yeah, I did some wild stuff back in the day.
And
but
Jeff was solid too. I don't know where we got him. Do you know the story about how he ended up DJing for us?
No.
Somebody else
DJ
really
too.
Saw DJing,
Forget.
You know? So I do tell that story sometimes. Like, he was the first person I really saw.
So like, yeah, I would come do some wild stuff at the parties. So like
the story that we were talking about earlier is I was just talking to a friend who happened to be female, but Chad thought I was trying to get some. So he took a thing of whipped cream and shook it up.
Told her to
and
lay
then
on the bar.
Sprayed it on my neck. Tried to get her to lick it up. It was
Hey, at least I was cock blocking.
No, definitely not.
I'll tell you what.
I don't know if it worked. No, it was a friend. It was like totally a friend. That's why I was mortified. I was mortified.
He had never done anything like that. There was ice. I got them ice luges, everything, bro. I was like, if we were gonna do this, we were gonna go out right.
We used to make thrones out of the Natty Light cans and cases, and I'd like to I've been DJing a little bit again, so I played 2 shows. I played at Spirit.
There's a fraternity again at Pitt.
I know. I've been talking to those guys. There's a guy named Noah Schrader, who's a DJ, and I've been talking to him.
It was Shatini before.
Yeah. But this kid, they're very, very Jewish now. Their advisor is the Chabad rabbi.
That's what that fraternity has come to. The best thing about Beta Phi, whether it's my dad's group, Brandon and Boomer's group, or Bonnick's group, however we want to talk about them here, and your group was white, black, Christian, Catholic.
The diversity was our strength.
Jewish. Yeah, it's what made it think.
But the lack of diversity was our downfall, I believe. It was when I joined. Really, I see myself as being kind of like the architect of our demise, because I started recruiting heavily out of Hillel, and because that was where I was connected. I was connected with Hillel, and I started bringing in all those kids, and they happened to be drug addicts, man. A lot of those kids were just alcoholic drug addicts.
I went to school at University of Hartford with kids with more money than I would. I never smoked weed. I never drank. I never saw a drug in my life till I went to college. Dude, I got drunk on Peachtree my first night of college, bro.
I don't know what that is.
Like, when they told me, Chad, we need more Jewish kids, I was like, what the hell are you talking about? They're like, well, we're a Jewish base. I'm like, listen, it doesn't work that way. You should have seen my fraternity at the University of Hartford. But to go back, to complete the story, I went to rehab and I came home and I got a job selling cars. Just because I can sell. I have the gift of gab. Yeah. I mean, I went from 2 months into selling cars to become the assistant general manager of the entire dealership, which is now an Aldi, by the way, in East Liberty.
I love Aldi. Great meat selection.
And I got a phone call from my dad's plant manager one day, and I had just gotten $100,000 a year job. What's it called?
Raise.
Yeah. And they said, we need you to come back to the office. Now, I was like, I just got a rate. Like, you guys ain't going to pay me this much. And they're like, we need you back here. Like, stuff isn't going well. And I was like, well, that's all they had to say to me. because I just thought about my great grandfather, like Alvin. Like my great grandfather is a man of few words. He winked at you or he looked at you, and you knew exactly where you stood. I mean, scared the living shit out of me. Just like my mom's, she smacked me one time against the lips. That was it, with the ring side out. Yeah, that's why I'm so close to my grandparents. I respect them. Told me to shut my mouth. Can you believe that? Me actually being quiet. But I went back, and what happened was this guy who my dad hired to run his plant eventually started running the plant. He pulled out of a car wash, literally pulled out of a car wash, and he offered him a job. So I mean, this guy was so loyal to my dad, and I'm telling you this story for a reason. That when he first started there, my dad decided to pull his pants down in the middle of the plant and take a shit and tell him to pick it up, he would pick it up.
Dude, I got a bidet today. I installed it today, this morning. Incredible.
Oh,
unbelievable.
Life-changing.
Tushy, it was like $60. It was the best fucking $60
they're
I ever
life-changing,
spent,
bro.
dude. And it was so easy to set up and install. And the spritz of water, I just used it for the first time like 40 minutes before you showed up.
Thanks.
The
you wash your
spritz
hands?
of water, yeah, like,
Okay.
but only using the, yeah, I did.
Okay, good shot.
And it hit right into the butthole. Like it aimed so perfectly.
Pause.
I didn't have to set it up. I thought it was going
That's
to be.
for Wayne.
I thought it was going to be so challenging. Wow. So he could have taken a shit in the dump, meaning like,
yeah, just meaning like this guy was very.
Or he worshipped him.
He gave him an opportunity. He must have saw something in him. And Jeff was like big brother to me my entire life growing up. If something broke at my house, Jeff came over to fix it. So this guy came over and they sat me down. Him and this guy Tom said, "You're either on our team or my dad's team."
Holy shit!
And I was like, didn't leave there on the greatest terms. Well, it wasn't greatest terms. I just wasn't there. I couldn't go back. I knew I couldn't go back right away.
Whoa.
And so I was like, okay. Like, I said okay regardless because it was my opportunity to go back. Like, that's what I wanted to do. So first couple months, dude, when I tell you that I literally sat behind a desk and did nothing for 8 hours, kept asking them for work.
Yeah.
No, just stay there. Then I'd just get into a random argument with my dad because that's what me and my dad do. He's old school. This is how we've always done it. And I'm old school. But progression is progression. Like, you got to keep up with the times.
Yeah.
So they started giving me stuff to do with my dad.
Oh, intentionally to kind of, because they knew
Intentionally.
you guys fought.
So what happened was my dad bought the business from the entire rest of the family using my mother's finances.
Holy shit. This is the felt business.
Yes. Well, yeah. So the house was on the line, my mom's bank account. And that these guys didn't pay a bill for a year and a half. Gave themselves $150,000, $200,000 raises because and I love my dad. He's so oblivious he's oblivious to people stabbing him in the back. Didn't think it was possible. He's bought the business. He said, "Tom, you're going to run the finances. Jeff, you run the plant. I'm going to sell." Nothing's changing. Well, he gave somebody the authorization to sign the checks. So one day I was there and I got a call, and the girl answering the phone at our office, Elizabeth, was like, "They keep asking for Mr. Simon and your dad's not taking the call. Just take the fucking call." I'm like, take the call. And it's like, "Chad, this is Chad? You're back?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm back. Your family owes us like $3.5 million from the felt. Now, what do we sell? Felt.
Right.
You guys are cut off."
Oh shit. This is the company that was selling you the rolls of felt?
All three of them cut us off.
So you can't make any more money.
Yeah. So 2 days before that, my dad, I had gotten a call. Somebody showed up at the office from the IRS.
Ooh.
For me.
Oh.
because I turned in my taxes. Like, your whole tax thing is fraudulent. I was like, what are you talking about? They're like, you haven't paid us any taxes in the last year that you've been working on. My dad went into Tom's office and said, why didn't you pay his taxes? Was this a computer glitch? Because if so, we'll cut the check. And he goes, I'm not fucking doing anything. He said that to my dad. I said, you know me, dude. I'm the nicest guy in the world, but there's a hockey player in here.
Yeah, yeah.
And nobody disrespects my parents. Nobody. I may disrespect them. Okay? But nobody outside of our family is going to disrespect them. And basically, he got fired that day because he told my dad, I'm not paying it.
Yeah.
And that's when I called my mother into the business.
Okay.
I said, yo, there's something going on here.
Something's rotten in the state of
And my dad
Armstrong.
is clear to this day. There's nothing going on. I was like, yo, we owe them 3.5. What are you talking about, Chad?
Right.
And so my mom came into business. Smartest and worst decision that's ever happened in my life. Looking back at it, she'll let the company go into fucking bankruptcy and then just bought it back. And bought the stuff on the pennies, restarted fresh, clean slate. Everybody got paid. Everybody would have been happy. We brought the head of the JCC into the place. Okay? Now, if anybody's ever run a business, there's a big difference between business and a nonprofit.
That's for damn show. In fact, it's exactly the opposite. They have the opposite goals. A business.
They don't call her the rabbi for no reason.
A business's goal is to generate profit. So it's exactly the opposite.
Yes, but it's also how it's run. Okay? Things can't wait. If a machine breaks, it doesn't matter that you're in Israel. I need you to sign off on this.
Right.
No, it can wait. No, it can't fucking wait.
Right.
So what happened was I went from not doing anything to being salesman on the road for 5 days, head of purchasing, and restructuring the entire manufacturing process all at the same time. Now, I'm doing great. And the only reason, and people are like, oh, Chad, you're the world's greatest salesman. I don't think I am. I got fired at 32. When you spent 32 years of your life around something, unless you're a stupid idiot, it's going to come secondhand nature. Okay.
Right.
I've met all these people. I know who's a shyster. I know who's not. I know how to sell to these guys.
Yeah.
Now, the problem is when my dad sold, it was you go in, you say hi, where you want to go to dinner tonight. Now, you're not allowed to take them to dinner. Okay? Because that's how all these steel companies went into bankruptcy. That's what the stories that you don't know is because they'll just sign up the purchase order for the person who takes them out to the most expensive thing, not who's selling them the best price. Right. They may be paying double. Honestly. Right,
because there's no skin off their back.
So like my selling when I got out there, I had find out that, God bless my father, but he didn't know how to just tell somebody the truth. I would never call my dad a liar to your face. You know what I mean? But somebody would be like, where's my 500 pieces of felt? My dad, we shipped it yesterday. We didn't even have the felt in the building yet. This shit wasn't even cut. Wasn't even close. No, so imagine the son of Ken Simon going into these people. Now, our thing is we're the least important thing until they're out of it. And we'll shut you down. We'll shut a whole thing down. So I just basically turned the company from going to liquidation into a $10 million a year company. I was running hot, bro. 9 straight years on the road, 5 days a week, no vacation days. And that's where me and my mother started. I would be like, oh, I need to come home for a week. Yeah. Not take a week off. I just need to be home for a week. I was having a lot of trouble sleeping. My life
was cocaine.
No.
Totally clean.
I'll be completely honest. that job was my job.
Yeah.
I talked about it every day. You could ask Pierre. All I did was talk. Pierre probably didn't know what the hell I was talking about, but
You were just trying to get that next sale, like,
next
because
sale, the new machine, a new process,
were
pay
there benefits for you? Like, would you get more money? Was there a
nothing.
incentive?
Oh yeah, I was supposed to be commissioned.
But you didn't. You
They
didn't
owe
see
me
any of
over
that.
$350,000.
That's it.
Yeah, because they changed my contract. My contract at the beginning didn't have commission, but they owe me three. I mean, dude, every time for all the years you saw me work, I never made more than $50,000
For the year.
for the year, and I was paying for my own car too.
Did you get legal representation? Are you involved in any proceedings at this point, or it's all water
Well,
under the
let's get
bridge?
to that part. So basically, like, I'll just fast forward. My mom and I'm very aggressive when it comes to business.
Yeah,
I take it very personal.
it's your life, man.
It was my life. Um, it got so she was not happy that she got dragged into work.
Right.
Okay, so that was not my mom's life plan. It's not any of my mom's sisters' life plans to be at work. Okay, I'm just gonna be honest about that. They're fucking rich, man. It is what it is. I don't look at her bad that way. She did not want to be there, but she had to because my dad put all her money in flux.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let's just start off there. Not happy when she's walking in. Every day there's these two. You'd been down to the office before, right? No?
Nah.
There's these two shaky glass windows by the front door. Every time she walked in, bang! You knew the bitch was there. Like, you knew she was there, man. And people and the business called me Little Linda Simon because, dude, she don't scare me, bro.
Wow.
My mom runs
How
on
many employees were there when it?
35.
Yeah. And at
And
the
they've
max,
all mostly,
was that the most there ever were?
yeah. No, probably somewhere up to 45 when we were cutting rags.
Yeah.
There would be 4 or 5 old ladies in the back. But we got out of that. I told my dad we weren't making enough money. We can just buy the rags already boxed up from somebody else and make more money and not touch them. Basically, they
Yeah.
come off, we rip the sticker off and send them back out.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's ultimately what you ended up doing. You were basically like a warehouse.
No, that was for the rags became the low end of the business. Our roles for the automotive industry is the big side of the business.
Was also polyester or felt?
They were from Japan. Yeah. But now that's just part of the story. So we're doing all this big business. I'm getting every customer back. My dad is happier than shit with me.
Yeah.
Linda, not happy
Why?
because I didn't need her anymore. So they hired a co-CEO. They hired somebody named Randall Schrader who would come in couple days a week, have sales meetings, because he knew how to run the business. My mom was basically an accountant.
Mhm.
She just take care of the bills. Well, when it came down to, like, I got a $250,000 carpet order. Some places use carpet instead of felt, like these carpet mills, when they screw up and stuff, they put it to the side and they'll sell it for cost. So I got a $250,000 carpet order, which has never happened before. I said to this dude, what do I got to do for all your business? He's like, need a truckload in 2 weeks. You get me a truckload in 2 weeks, you have my business. I said, okay, done. I made 4 phone calls, told my dad, tell the guys, if they need anybody, if they have anybody that can work a night shift, we'd hire their buddies for a couple weeks. And we had to buy a carpet machine that would unroll by itself and cut. Because what these guys were doing was taking a carpet roll, rolling it out, chalking it, using a motorized hand shear and cutting it, then putting in a paper guillotine and cutting it down. What this carpet machine did, it would just vroom, vroom, and it would still have to go to the guillotine, but the manual labor was gone, which sped it up 75%. So, and my mom said, we ain't buying that machine. We ain't buying that machine. And the guy goes, he just laid out how quickly you're going. Basically, that machine was paid off by the end of this one order.
Yeah.
We're not doing it. I don't care what. He just wants to buy
So
stuff.
so there were personality conflicts. It was hard working with your parents. Ultimately,
Well, what happened was
they
this
cut you out of the
guy.
business. They fired you,
No,
and
no,
they owe
no,
you
no.
$350,000. What's the punchline?
The punchline is they used me until they didn't need me. It's the old adage. It's real easy to run something. I forget the. There's a phrase out there,
Yeah.
but basically, I set them all back up with everybody. My dad said, "You can't get $1 million credit line from these guys." I have a
Made it
15-minute
happen.
meeting and get one.
Yeah.
It just when they didn't need me, what happened was there's a company called NCCM. This is where I was going with who bought them. I was out selling these Japanese rolls, and it so happens they kept, come on, Chad, you got to push these rolls. They're the big ticket items. Felt kept the lights on. The rolls made the money. That's the way I described our business. And the rags was just
It was a little extra.
a little extra. I met this guy. He's like, we're not buying these effing Japanese rolls anymore. They don't fucking work. I don't care how cheap they are. And I came back to the office. I was like, oh, I'm not fucking selling these things anymore. Like, we might as call 3M, who's our competitor.
Oh,
okay.
wow. Yeah, 3M's been in the news lately. It's been interesting. There was a piece in Wall Street Journal yesterday about how they're failing to innovate because they haven't invested enough in research and development.
They sold off.
And they've also
This
had
is
a big
where
lawsuit because of the earplugs.
Yes.
So they're on the hook for that. It's a multi-billion-dollar lawsuit. I think 5.5 billion.
So what happened was 3M still made the material, but they sold the sales end of the business to a company called NCCM, which was owned by the guy who was the head engineer for this division at 3M. Basically, they were trying to not finish the product, kind of like we do to felt. But they are, by hands down, the best at this shit. And my mom said, what are you going to do? I was like, I'm going to fucking call the NCCM company. My dad said, there ain't a chance in hell you even get a fucking phone call. So I called this guy, Brett Nickham, and his wife, Julie. And I said, they said, Mr. Nickham's in a meeting. And I said, never met this dude before. And I just said, tell him it's Chad Simon from Armstrong Cover Quick. And next thing you know, he picked up the phone. He goes, can I help you? I said, I shut my door to my office because I didn't want my parents to hear what I said. I was like, listen, I'm the head salesman here. I'm also the head of purchasing, even though they'll never give me that title. I was like, what do you think about us doing business together? He goes, fuck yeah. Like, we've been wanting your business for a long time. Came out the thing. He said, can you guys be here tomorrow? I was like, yeah, you're my type of guy. He's like, there's no reason to sit around on it. It's just a plane flight. We'll buy the tickets. So, okay, my mom told him, my dad just gave me a hug. He goes, I don't know what the fuck do you do to these people? My mom goes, he's not going. He doesn't sell rolls anymore. If it's going to be 3M, it's going to be Dave. And it's my friend Dave that worked there. And my dad, it's the only time I've ever seen my dad talk back to my mother. He goes, oh, he's fucking going. And she was like, why? He goes, because he's the one that made the fucking meeting.
Right.
This ain't the JCC.
Yeah.
So we make this deal, and it changed the life of that company.
You gave them their lifeblood back.
Yeah.
This was...
Yeah, well, they were also buying, like, the plastic stuff you would see with that gripper that I would bring for you guys.
Oh, yeah.
They were buying that for They were buying, like, heavy-duty industrial army-type bulletproof shit, which this thing's going to break anyways. So it just needs to last a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
It does not need... And our profits went up, like, 300% on that stuff. So... So we're in the midst of selling. We're doing all this. I'm starting to get absolutely worn out.
Yeah.
I mean, every day is starting to be like Groundhog Day for me. If anybody's been on the road for 9 or 10 years, and I'm talking no breaks, man. The only 3-day weekend I got is my birthday, and that's me just basically saying, I ain't answering my fucking phone that day.
You weren't having any fun on the road, like going to bars, meeting people?
No,
like
I
meeting
was
girls,
allowed
partying?
$25 a day to eat 3 meals.
What were you eating, man?
Dunkin' Donuts.
Have you improved? Like what you eat at all? Are you... Are you taking good care of yourself now?
Yeah,
Good, man.
yeah. My friends have me on a better diet,
Good, bro.
but like that's the other thing. Like, yeah, there's so many stories with me and my mother and
Well,
bills,
it
but
sounds like you felt like you were not being respected.
well, yeah.
Like your skills were not being honored.
Well, it was.
Like people took you for granted and that they didn't take care of you the way that you deserved. Like you were bringing a lot more to the table than they.
It was never about money for me
Yeah.
because I had a company credit card. I did what I want anyways. It just came out of my damn paycheck.
Right.
But um I was miserable. She made a job that wasn't a job, a place I didn't even want to go. So what happened was I had 3 straight weeks going to in Las Vegas,
Okay.
going to 3 different trade shows, happened to be back to back to back. Now, if you stay in Vegas for 3 weeks, okay? I mean, I knew Ian Riddick was out there. I mean, a whole bunch of I wasn't paying for shit. I mean, I was living, but no drugs yet. Came back, the lady sat me down, Julie Nickham, and said, "We need to talk about our business relationship." And I said, "Oh shit." I looked at Kevin, I was like, "Fuck. They're about to kick us to the curb." And the lady goes, "Chad, this might be hard for you to hear." I'm like, "What?" Now, listen, I've been wrong a lot in my life. I'm looking in the camera right now. But I normally know when I fuck up, okay? I'm fully aware. So I was like, I didn't really do anything. They're like, "We don't want to do business and have any contact with your mother anymore. We don't like how she does business. We don't like her tone. We don't like how secretive she is. That's not why we signed the business. We signed up to do business with you. It's a partnership. It's not a business arrangement. The way we made money was a partnership, and we had to be completely open because there's other people selling their stuff in certain markets, and you have to respect that." Not my mother. No respect. She just wants money. That's it. So,
But she was also roped in because of your father's decision to put her finances on the
well,
line.
no, that
She
that
never
was the
gave
only
a shit
way he
about
could
the
have bought
company.
the business. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it wasn't her deal. She was independently wealthy.
No, and I understand that, but there was a time. It was time for her to go.
Fair.
It was prearranged that she'd be there for a year and a half,
Right.
and then they'd hire an accountant, a business manager. That never happened because once the one thing I will say about her is once she gets power, JCC, Temple Emmanuel, you have to kill her off the throne. In all seriousness, dude.
Right.
It happened at Temple.
Right.
It happened at the JCC. It happened at the UJF. That's why she doesn't do any Jewish nonprofits anymore. So,
Those things, man. I used to raise money for them.
yeah,
I would like plant a
it's
tree,
a mafia.
run a marathon for $5,000 for the UCF. I used to raise all the money for them and get all my family members and friends to contribute. And then I look it up and it's like, what are they actually using the money for? It's like building the wall between them and Palestine.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's
I've been
like
doing
the
this shit.
politics are not so
So
good,
this
man.
lady says this, and I look at Kevin. So I say, "Okay, well, we'll make it happen." We go back, and I'm sitting on the plane, dude. And I honestly said this. I said, "I'm gonna get fired."
Yeah.
And Kevin's like, "No, dude, you're producing.
You could tell.
You're producing." I was like, "Dude,
Because
this,
your mom is
no,
higher
no,
up
no."
than you were.
I said it in jest because I saw it coming already.
Yeah.
But I didn't think she'd be able. I didn't think she'd pull the trigger. If you understand what I'm trying to say.
So was this the end of the first time you worked?
No,
for the
this is
company?
the end of the second time. So,
And they owed you a bunch of money.
well, yeah, but it wasn't even about the money then. There was other stuff going on there.
Yeah.
It's beating me down, calling me a fat fuck every day.
That's your mom?
Like,
or your
yeah,
dad,
it's
or-
a fat fuck. I wonder why nobody wants to date you. I'm like, nobody wants to date me because I'm never fucking home.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
we don't have FaceTime. They were fucking flip phones.
Did your mom call you and tell you were fired? Did she like?
No. So we came home. We told her. And Kevin's like, "You got to tell her." And I'm like, "You tell her." And my
that you
mom's
lost
like,
the business.
No.
Vegas business.
We didn't lose the business. That lady didn't want to do business with her.
Right.
And that it was going to be, of all people, this is what she called me, her drug addict son. which I am. I went to rehab. You're always a drug addict when you're a drug addict, okay?
Right.
But I'm not. I'm the drug addict. I'm the embarrassment of. I'm the black sheep of the
Do
family.
you have siblings?
Technically, I haven't talked to my sister in 15 since all this went down.
Your sister was also involved in the business?
No, she hates the business because because when we would sit for dinner, we'd talk business, and she'd just be. Now there's 7 years between us.
She's younger.
Yeah. So yeah, she hates. She's always hated me. She never felt like she got enough attention. I mean, always. I ruined her life because she had to go to hockey games. Like, it's just one of those things. But I don't even want to talk about her. She's not worth it. That sounded really rude, but that's the nicest thing I'll say.
But this business cost you your relationship with your dad, your relationship with your mom, and your relationship with your sister?
But my relationship with my sister's never been there. She hated me my entire life. I mean, dude, me and my friends showed up for her 21st birthday and she was embarrassed. All her friends were happy. She was embarrassed. She won't talk to me. She won't. The only 2 times I've talked to her were when both my grandparents died. And she came over and gave me the old Jewish hug. I'm so sorry. And turned right around. I haven't heard anything back. That's just who she is. I mean, this girl, the rules in the house growing up was you can't talk to Jessica for an hour and a half after she wakes, till an hour and a half after she wakes up. She's a princess. She is the definition of a Jap. She's extremely intelligent, extremely successful. She's got all my parents' attention now. And that's what she's always wanted. And good for her. I have no problem with it. I don't want anything bad to happen to her. But so this lady told her that. We told her. My mom got up, left the office. I got an email saying, "You're not on the road anymore." I said, "What do you want me to do?" She said, "Anything you want." Next day, I went out to the off plant to try to help my dad. Got in a fight with him because he just is the most. My dad's just, when that shit happened, it fucked him up. It's going to sound like I'm making an excuse for my dad over my mother, but those 2 people stabbing him, he's never been the same person. Never been. When you look at him, you can look right through him. So we would get into it. Then I told her I can't go in the plant. Then I couldn't call customers. So what do you think I turned to?
Yeah, got back into the drugs. They had started like whittling you down until you couldn't do anything, and you knew, like they knew that's what you did last time you were bored when you didn't have anything else to do.
Do you think they've ever asked me about Miranda or the drugs since the day I went to rehab? Since the day that happened, they've to this day,
right?
21 years later.
So what was the outcome? How did you get back on your feet?
Well,
if you are.
Yeah. Been surviving, dude.
Maybe we're like still limping a
well,
little.
no, I'm very much limping right now, but I'm happy. So
that's key.
I don't care. Yeah. Like, I don't mind hustling, dude. I worked in a plant all my life. Like, I don't care. Like, that's why people are like, I can't believe you bar back. I'm like, what? It's some hard work, quick money, dude.
It's honest. It's an honest way of living.
And I'm still at the bar and I'm still listening to my friends DJ.
Yeah, still supporting.
So the thing happened was she sent my dad. So we got in a big fight. My dad pushed me. I pushed him back. My dad said, "Okay, you know what? You've been wanting this vacation 2 weeks, unpaid. But I'll buy you a ticket. Go stay with my brother, Mike, that you always hear me talk about, my big brother, Mike. Go live with him in LA for a couple weeks. Yeah. Get the fuck out of here."
Yeah.
I said, "Okay, cool." Came home packed. Got a knock on my door in the morning. It's my father, crying. Gotta let you go. I said, "Excuse me?"
So she made him do it?
Yeah.
Wow.
The thing was, she was going to divorce him if he didn't fire me.
Bro, you've been through some shit, man. Tell me this. What keeps you going? What keeps you motivated? What keeps you upbeat? What keeps every day, like, what allows you to bear it?
I mean, my grandfather just passed away 2 years ago to the day. So when I left there, I moved to California. I'm going to make this real quick. Moved to California to work with Mike. I was going to be assistant general manager of Orange County Mercedes-Benz in Orange County, California. The number 3 Mercedes dealership in North America. It's going to make $225,000 a year. Perfectly happy. kibitzing with everybody.
You told me a similar story about South Florida not that long ago.
Yeah, well, that didn't happen. Yeah. Well, I went out there, I took the job. My dad calls me a month and a half in. I need you to come back to work. Everything's flatlined. It's lost without you pushing us. Come home. I come home. My dad said, I came home on a Wednesday. He's like, I'll see you at the office on Monday. My mom's mother dies on Saturday. He goes, you can't come back to work. I said, what the fuck you talking about? I can't come back to work. Day later, my grandma gets cancer. So basically, for the last 12 years, I've been taking care of my grandparents because my mom did not allow my father to talk to them because she wanted me to be homeless and learn how tough life is because I didn't respect her.
What do you think it is? Like, if you had to dig really deep down, what do you think your mom, like, what would she say about
I mean,
why the relationship
Chad's a liar. Chad's a drug addict. I mean, I lied most of my childhood because I got put in timeout so much. I would do anything not to be in that powder room again. Like, dude, I could take apart a Sunbeam clock kitchen timer. Like, it's going out of style. Like, I have really bad ADD, really bad. So, the truth is, I'm not scared of her. And the two people that were left in the sales team, one of them was part of the group that tried to screw my dad. So she had that over the head. And the other one, he got caught. The IT guy got caught trying to read my emails and use one of my ideas for something. So now she had stuff over them. So now they had to be good little puppies. You don't get anywhere in the steel business without pushing people.
Yeah.
You have to be creative. You have to find the cheapest way to do stuff because, number one, they are the worst paying people in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking 60, 90, 120 days out. We don't get those same terms. So we have to touch as many items that we don't have to do any work with to sell. So like people saying, I can't get that. I'm like, oh, I can get that for you at a cheaper price. We wouldn't have to touch it. Come in and leave.
Yeah.
So she would tell you, my biggest thing with her is I'm not afraid. She likes to help people. But the minute you don't need her help, you're a threat. I'm not sure if I'm describing that the right way, but there's friends of hers growing up that the same thing happened. And it's her mother. She is her mother's son. I did not have a relationship with my grandmother. My mom's youngest brother is a schizophrenic. He's been in a home since the day John Lennon got killed. Yeah. Cool guy, Uncle Steve. Play all the instruments you want, but he loses it. Out of nowhere, he'll just fucking snap. But they thought I was going to be him because of my ADD. She wouldn't talk to me. She wanted nothing to do with me. So just I don't know, man.
Wild things we've been through, man.
Yeah, and so they literally they were like, Chad, you get a job, we'll talk to you, and we'll go back to therapy. And basically every time I've tried to reconnect with them, they just move the goalpost, whatever you want to call it. And the worst part is it killed my grandmother. It honestly, 2 days before she died, I just want to die. Kenny broke my heart. And if you ever met my dad, dude, he's a parent's kid. Like
yeah.
Like
nicest guy you ever met. Yeah.
Yeah. So for him to just not talk to me, they have not talked to me in 15 years.
Your folks.
Yeah. Not at all. I wasn't even allowed at my grandfather's at the casket.
Even though you were the one caring for him.
I got kicked out of the house when he got put in hospice. I got the locks changed on me to his apartment.
Jesus Christ, man. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, like, it's not boohoo Chad. Now, if you would have asked me a year ago, I would have gave you the biggest sob story that you ever heard. It's just like, I look at it now, I'm like, what can life throw my way anymore? I don't care. I don't care about being rich.
Yeah.
Now, would I love some money? Oh, fuck yes.
Do you think that any of the whole whatever took place is your fault? is your
I'm
responsibility? Is
50%
there
of the problem.
anything
I'm 50% of
that
the
you
fault.
could have done better or that
I
you would have changed going back?
I can tell you what I would have changed. I'm not deflecting it back on my parents, but I was so tuned in every day to we are going to lose everything. We are going to lose everything that nobody was like, yo, we're good. Take a step back. There was nothing. Like when I dive in, dude,
Yeah.
I'm up at 4 o'clock in the morning Googling shit. Wasn't sleeping that often.
Yeah.
I was just like, I'm going to make this company fucking huge. So to go back to finish it, like they bought the company. The lady that told my mother to do business, they ended up buying my family's business.
Huh.
And
Is this the group in Vegas or somebody else?
no, they're up by 3. I'm up in Minneapolis.
Got it.
Right on they're actually in Wisconsin, but it's like Pittsburgh to fucking Youngstown. It's the same thing.
But you were never part of you never had any stake in the company.
No,
No ownership stake. So
No,
you didn't
purposely.
you didn't benefit from the sale.
No.
Even though you had put all of this time and energy.
Yeah,
and
but when
effort
I
into the
say they
company.
owe me money, it was basically like I earned that money. And they're like,
But not just money. When you were building the company back from the brink,
they'll tell you that didn't happen. They'll tell you that's all a lie.
But aren't there receipts? Like, for all
Yeah,
the work
there's
that you've
receipts
done?
on everything. But you think my mom's friend's going to ask them for the receipts?
Yeah.
You think my mom's sister's going to ask for the receipts? And
Your
nobody.
lawyer can during
I
discovery.
know. Well, the biggest problem was my grandparents talked me out of that.
Oh, talked you out of suing.
And because they did not believe my dad could go on this long with the whole charade.
Got it.
And it's been a charade, bro. I
They
mean, there's
figured he
been.
would pay you.
I've sent some really, really nasty text messages that my mom got a restraining order
I
on.
remember. Yeah, I remember.
And everybody was like, I gave Wayne that. He's like, man, that's pretty nasty, but a restraining order. I'm like, that's just because my entire life my mom's paid somebody else to do her work.
Sure.
And I don't know if that's generational. I don't know about any of that. I'm not.
Let me tell you about Becky. It was like she never cooked. She never changed a diaper. She didn't breastfeed. She's my favorite person in the whole world.
Yeah.
But when we would come over for dinner, she had her friends coming in the back, bringing up the casserole dishes, and they would hand them to her with the tinfoil on.
So
and
it looked like she took
put it
out
in the stove or put it in the oven and pull it out and then put it on the dinner table.
Yeah, like
She had a whole army of people. All of Squirrel Hill was working for her for free.
The other thing with me working at work was Brandon's one of my Bonix, who, if people don't know his real name,
Brandon Glova.
I was out with him. I get off the plane and I'm out at the clubs. Now, my parents, a good night for them is crossword puzzles on a couch, dude. I'm not that kid. I like the club for a lot of things. It just takes me back to the fucking auditorium, dude. Lights, sound, action. And when are you going to stop going out? You're 30 years old. I'm like, fuck, I ain't stopping going out. It's the only time I get to see anybody. Because I'm in the middle, and if anybody's ever been, probably nobody that will ever watch this has ever been to a steel mill. It's in the middle of fucking nowhere, except if it's in Chicago. Okay? They're all, and wherever somebody will give them tax-free land, that's where they are, in the middle of fucking nowhere. So it's not fun. Like, it's fun. I enjoy the business part of it. But, like, when I go back to the hotel, dude, I'm like, honestly, it's very Chad comment, but I would just find the closest Hooters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Like where you can get some attention. Like,
I get some attention. I could do some flirting and see some TNA.
Sure.
That's it. I mean, unless it was a nice hotel bar, but I was never allowed to stay in they were courtyards or Holiday Inns. But like,
it's a sad life, right? Like you felt kind of lonely.
I was very lonely on the road with somebody that was not caring. Now, like my dad got it because he did it, but it would all end up, she wouldn't let me off the road because she didn't want me in there. And I found out afterwards because every time we'd make a decision, when I left, she'd change it. And I'd be like, why didn't that ship? Mm-hmm. Well, we decided it wasn't that important. If I fucking tell you it's important, well, Chad, sometimes you lied when you were younger. I'm like, yeah, to get out of timeout, not because somebody needs felt so they can slit steel.
Do you have insight into how manufacturing fell apart in America? Like in the whole sense where like
Unions.
there was this loss of
It's
all these manufacturing jobs
it's gonna
in the
sound.
Rust Belt.
I don't understand how unions work. Okay, and some people may hate me for saying this, but
That was the downfall
unions killed U.S. Steel, killed them.
because we couldn't compete because we were
Oh, dude,
paying too much for labor, basically.
so much for labor. I mean, there's certain people in steel mills that need to get paid. The engineers, the maintenance people. But the everyday people, they should be a good $25 an hour. But at the union, they're making like 40 something an hour. Fucking 3 months off and shit. And then, so what
Yeah,
happened
I get
was
3 weeks. I've had 3 weeks for the last,
but what I'm saying is
10 years.
they went all digital. They went all computer, pissed off the union. And it's a whole when they shut down, dude. I mean, it takes a month to bring that thing back up to running. Like, people don't understand like that furnace. Like, once you turn them off, everything needs to get changed out of it because you can't just blast it with heat again.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's
so
not.
It really has to
Yeah,
keep running.
and
like
the problem is
or whatever.
not only is the union, so I'm going to go on the other side of it. Like, you see U.S. Irvin Works, right? Or stuff down in the Mon Valley. The problem was they never kept up with these plants.
So they were still running old equipment from the
old,
1800s.
and then when it's time now for them to like get new equipment, it's not financially feasible. They'll just move the entire operation down south.
Yeah.
Because it's tax free and there's more open land down south than up north. Because
Tennessee,
all steel used
South
to be
Carolina, Florida,
Chicago,
Mississippi.
Used to be Chicago, Ohio, Detroit, Pittsburgh, and the
Buffalo.
Northeast.
Yeah.
And Buffalo and Boston.
Cleveland. Yeah.
And Rhode Island's a big one that people don't know about. But like dude, it wasn't cost effective. That's why stuff started going overseas. So they fucked up on both ends. Like the newest mill, the last thing I did is in Alabama. It's in Mobile, Alabama. It cost them fucking $25 billion, dude. State of the art, the whole thing. It's like a art. They hired somebody to do artwork on the outside. Is it a whole? Paid the guy $5 million for an art installation. So when you look at these buildings, it's not like go down to Mon Valley and look at that shithole.
Yeah.
You go to this place, it's like,
it's somewhere you'd want to work. Did you see the Sphere in Vegas?
Yeah.
So the footage from the U2 concert.
Yeah, it's been a wild ride.
Yeah.
My grandfather, they don't call him Tricky Dicky for no reason, bro. Like, I'm very lucky that I spent 10 years taking care of both of them. It was also the worst thing that happened to me because that was 10 years of me not working. You try to get a job from working for your parents and then taking care of your grandparents and now try to get a job.
Yeah, I talked about this also recently with a meeting I had with Pat Card. So last time I didn't say his name, but I looked it up and it'll go into the episode with PK. But basically his advice for me was you can't take a break. Like if you take 3 months off, you're good. But if you take 6 months, 7 months, a year,
10 years,
you have to explain it, and you have to be able to explain what you learned, what you created, and why you weren't working.
Yeah, and I do. I've been to like 3 or 4 finalists for certain jobs, but I just haven't gotten one yet. But I'm just doing my thing, man. Just
do you have
hustling.
any legal issues?
No.
That's dope. That's big.
Never been in jail,
dude. You should be straight. Like, I guess you don't have a college degree.
So that stupid piece of paper, bro.
You have high school.
Yeah.
But no college.
Yeah, so it's just, I'll say, and I have to say this, I have the most amazing set of friends.
Yeah.
I am not an easy person to be friends with.
You are a little flaky, I'll say that. Little on the flaky side. I'm impressed you showed up tonight. That was cool.
Oh, shut up. I'm not that flaky. I just don't talk to anybody anymore. I've gotten old. I've gotten quiet. I sit at home. If I'm not out driving or not at a bar cleaning it or bar backing, I'm home.
Yeah.
Or I'm at Wayne's house or at my sister Bethany's house.
What's given you the most joy?
My friends' kids. I love being Uncle Chad. I've got 2 up in Hartford. I just say Hartford because they won't know where Ludlow, Massachusetts is. I got Wayne's 2 daughters who are wrapped around my finger that I'd do anything for. I say my sister Bethany. She's one of my sister's friends, but we've always been closer than me and my sister. So I watch her 2 kids every Friday. Oh, 3 kids, sorry. And all my other friends' kids. But like they make me want to be better.
What I mean, if you think that's gonna make you want to be better, can you imagine what being a dad would do?
Well, dude, I wanted to be a dad. I mean, I had one on the way. I was gonna be the first. My kid should be.
It's not too late, bro.
No,
You're
it's
still in
over.
your 40s.
It's over.
It's not over.
It's over.
Not
Listen,
over.
the thought of even being in a relationship, I have no desire.
Why?
Just I don't want to get anybody in trouble. Nah. I like doing my own thing. I'm too far in now. Somebody tell me what to do, dude.
That's not what a relationship should be like.
I know, but there's certain stuff
that might be what you think it's like because of your relationship with your parents.
No.
But that's not what a
I'm doing
relationship is
off
supposed to be.
certain other things that I see, and that's all I'm going to say about that is I'm not living that life. Nobody's
You don't
going
know
to
what
tell
life
me
looks
that
like,
I
man.
can't
That's-
not go to my friends.
Bro, it doesn't have to be like that.
I know. Well, I've seen enough.
That's what you see. Like that's.
And the other thing is,
your mind.
I'm not set yet.
That's a reasonable explanation. Like
I'm not set, and
you
I
don't
just
feel
honestly,
like you have the stability. Like you haven't put down the roots.
yeah,
to sprout those
and it's just not.
acorns.
I don't know if it's me getting older. I just don't really give a shit anymore, to be honest with you. I'm okay being by myself. I do what I want. I go where I want. And yes, have I been a little flaky? Because I just don't give a fuck anymore. If I don't feel like doing something anymore, do you know how many years I've spent running around doing stuff for other people? You know what I mean? So I've just learned through wisdom that I have to take care of me recently, and it's made me extremely happy these past couple months. I don't give a shit, dude. I have the most amazing life. Dude, I get to do crazy shit and be in places that I shouldn't be at.
Tell me about all the stuff that you've been doing with all of the artists in Pittsburgh. I've seen you with a lot of hip hop, like folks in the hip hop community.
Well,
like
I mean,
different
that's
people
with
from Taylor Gang. Like, what's your involvement there, and who are the people you're excited about? Like, who are the artists that you're excited about?
Well, I got into the whole Taylor Gang thing is obviously from Brandon, but I've been there since the first concert with Brandon. So that's just, dude, like the first year, the big first tour, I was there for like a week. I did like New Jersey, Hartford, Boston, and another show. It was just the most awesome thing ever. Like, cause I'm like, what the fuck am I doing here? Like Snoop Dogg was there. Like, I'm like, no, literally like a fucking fan. Like, just like, this is awesome. Like going on the bus, smoking my weed, catering, like this shit's cool. And then I just became friends. Like Kenny, the music director, one of my top 10 friends. And I don't even talk to him but 2 or 3 times a year. But it's like my Yoda. Chevy. Don't talk to him that much.
Chevy seems cool as fuck. He's one of those guys that like
the best human being I've ever met.
Everybody says that shit.
I've ever met in my life. He is a man of few words until you piss him the fuck off. I pissed him off once. I was just yapping. I know that's a shocker to a lot of people. He's like, cuz, do you ever shut the fuck up? Sound familiar, Ma? Oh, I said, Chad, shut the fuck up. But
this is the perfect venue for you, though.
Yeah.
It's like, let's go.
Yeah,
it's
people
where,
have been
where you're
like,
encouraged to talk.
well, I got to do the Berg Boys podcast.
Cool.
With Motor and Flack and Spills.
They put that one on hiatus.
We've been on hiatus for a while. I mean,
a year or two
it's
ago.
just, the whole, it was a whole thing. It ran its course. That's the way I'll phrase it.
Fair.
It just ran its course.
Fair.
Well, and a big Hardo's boy, Huss, had joined us, and he got tragically killed.
Oh, fuck.
Not gunshot. He got literally, do you know where that little overpass is on 2nd Ave on the way towards the jail?
Yeah, maybe.
There's that little underpass you go under before you hit the jail, before you hit the light to go over the 10th Street Bridge. His car up on 376 or 279. Don't know which one that is. His car was above that. Car broke down. And he got out of his car. And somebody hit him and knocked him up from 376 down onto 2nd Avenue. And the only thing that killed him was his rib. Both back ribs went right through his lungs.
Jesus Christ.
And he had just been in my house.
Fuck.
He's one of 4 friends that have died over the last.
It's been a lot. PK was talking about Mayo and Ivory.
Yeah, I don't know though. I didn't know them.
Like
I had my friend Reed.
Heroin situation.
I had a friend Reed, who's your fraternity brother. Fraternity buddy. He was the only kid from Pittsburgh that I went to college with. Huss died. My cousin's friends, Anthony and Vance. Anthony got killed in a car accident, and Vance killed himself because of Anthony's death.
Damn.
And I'm trying not to cry right now.
Damn.
Because it got to a point where I was closer with them than they were with my cousin. And, yeah. Oof.
Sorry, man.
No, it was cool. I just found out while I was working behind the bar at the Gold Mark. So, it was a rough.
Maybe that was one of the nights you didn't want to dap me up. It's like, you
Yeah.
never know what somebody's going through, man. I think
Well,
that's
it's
so
not
important.
that.
I think that's so
If
important.
you've ever seen me at the Gold Mark
no
and
idea.
I ignored you,
Yeah. Once or twice.
it's because I had my job is like octopus there.
Yeah.
So
it's a lot. You should see
I
No
can't-
Casino. You should see how hard No Casino works. Tanner,
Yeah.
he's back there. Like,
Wait, he works there now?
yeah, he took your job. He at least he was there once or twice that I saw him. I don't know if he kept it.
Well, the thing
But it
is
was funny as fuck.
the Gold Mark was my savior. Because when I couldn't get a job, the only person that gave me a job was Nugget.
Yeah, shout out Nugget, man. What an amazing.
Well, I
human
mean,
being.
listen,
Adam,
I could go
for weeks.
There's 3 people in this room. You guys only see 2, but the 3 of us could spend fucking 35 hours on DJ Nugget.
Easy.
That's just the DJ part. We're not even talking about who Adam is. The most solid human being I know.
Although I did have to kick in the back door in order to DJ at Goldmark.
Yeah, well, that's just how you
Since I
do
came
things,
back.
Isaac.
What do you mean?
You've been out of rotation for a little bit there, Chief.
No.
You're in a different rotation.
Look, absolutely. That's true. But I mean, it was also a thing where it would be like every time I would show up, like, yeah, I'm gonna get you in. And then
Yeah, well, there's a lot of liquor going on that night too, brother.
Just kick in the back door and explain like what is that
He had to beat him
I
down.
just
until he
asked
said,
Dr. Dr. Dapp asked me to DJ because I had asked him if he knew anybody with CDJs. So basically what happened is I signed up for Open Decks at Spirit, which was a terrible gig. But because I played that one, I was asking around if anyone had CDJs I could practice on. So I hit Dapp and it was like, hey man, do you have any CDJs I'd like to practice? And he's like, come DJ with me tomorrow night. So it was because I opened that door that another better door opened. And that's really always how life is. You set yourself up for opportunities and goodness comes into your life. When you say yes to bad opportunities, better opportunities come.
Yeah.
That's like always how it's been for me. So that's why you just have to start saying yes if you want to be a DJ, if you want to be successful.
You got to take listen, I'm nobody when it comes to DJing. I'm the DJ, I'm the backpack dude. But from that, if you're an up and coming DJ, dude, you have to take the gig at the local Taco Bell if they offer you fucking money.
For sure.
Because you never know who's going to fucking be there watching you.
110%. Yeah, just be ready. Just like be
Yo,
ready.
when I worked at that car dealership, it's the best sales advice I ever got. So this guy, there's shit called ups, and it just goes in rotation. Who gets the person at the door? Who walks in? And dude, I just sold a car, so I was the last one on the list. And this fucking guy from, excuse me, Washington County, but he looked like he came in, fat guy, big old beard, overalls, no shirt underneath, gut hanging out. Nobody paid attention. I looked at my boss and he said, yes. He goes, opens his little bib,
How much money was in there?
pulls out $100,000
Let's go.
and says, I want that Bumblebee Dodge Ram right there.
Sick.
Cash money. That's it. If that's too much money, then you keep it, bud.
Wow.
And he's like, you don't ever judge a book by its cover, bro.
For sure.
Some of the richest people. Look at Adam Sandler, dude.
Oh,
He dresses like a bum every day.
Dude, I love that
He
guy.
is my inspiration. I don't ever want to dress up again.
Do you like Uncut Gems?
I haven't watched it yet. No.
Bro.
No. There's certain movies
That might be my favorite movie.
Listen,
bro.
there's certain movies that I own, and I own
Good.
Uncut
It's
Gems.
so fucking
I save certain movies for plane flights.
Dude.
Because if you've ever been on a plane with me, there's no chance of me sleeping, and there's no chance of me sitting still. So movies,
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
So I like to watch stuff like that I'm immersed in that I've never seen
Kevin
before.
Garnett in that.
Oh,
like,
KG's awesome.
And the chick.
I
what's
don't
her
even
name?
remember what we were talking about. But I bar back to the
We were
gold mark.
giving advice for DJs, up and coming DJs. I think,
Yeah.
like, take every gig is a good piece of advice. Practice and have skills is an important piece of advice.
And ask for help.
That's good. Like, respect the people who came before you. I think that'd be good.
Oh, there's no respect these
And
days.
then like, don't be afraid to take risks. So, play something that maybe people haven't heard before.
Just follow your fucking, just do you, man.
Yeah.
Like, do you.
Don't try to copy somebody else's shit.
It's okay to like watch and learn somebody's tricks. I wouldn't fucking know it. What?
Can I say something? You can put it in your thing, just edit it out, but like definitely say like learn the different aspects of a night, because most DJs they see now is clips of the highlight shit, so they don't even understand the importance of being an opener or a good closer.
So important.
And that's such a thing on the whole foundation of the way the flow of a night's gonna go.
Yeah, I love that.
People don't understand.
Dude, I've been to so many. You've been to way more than I have, but I've been to so many venues with Bonix.
Yeah.
When there's the opener, and he was like, "Why the fuck would he play that song right now?"
Yeah. Monos was talking about sequencing, the importance of sequencing a night. And one thing that I think a lot of people forget about is the importance of pushing people to the bar. So a lot of people think that now you just have to hit bangers, 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 and where everybody's always dancing. But actually, the bar makes money when people stop dancing and go get drinks. So you have to learn how to push them to the bar and then pull them back. So there's actually songs that I'll play. Like, I'll drop a ballad, empty the dance floor intentionally, push people to the bar to go drink so they can re-up, and then pull them back with another banger. And people don't even.
I'm just saying, my nights at the
radar.
gold mark are so chaotic that
Yeah.
I would purposely bring shots to Nugget just because the drunker he got, the more weird it get, and it would just get awesome. But like to get back to my friends, I wouldn't still be, and this is a tough statement to make because it makes people worry. I would not be alive without Pierre and Wayne and Uncle Ray.
Oh yeah, Uncle Ray, man. Shout out Uncle Ray. Didn't he get married this
Uncle
week?
Ray just got married on Saturday.
Yeah, congrats. Were you there?
Yeah, it was an eclectic
Nice wedding?
bunch of people. Yeah. And there was people I had not seen. We could have opened the firehouse up. The entire firehouse staff from
Sick.
the original was
Sick.
there. Ryan Graham and everybody.
Ray was one of the managers.
And bartender, yeah.
Yeah.
Spencer wasn't there, but dude, my friends are there's that whole thing, you don't have to be blood to be family. And that's the definition of my life. I do anything for my friends. I'm too nice. But they've also had to deal with Chad, and I speak in the third person for a reason, growing up. Because the problem with not to go back, the problem with my childhood is I'm like 8 or 9 years behind my age. I was in that house or playing hockey, dude. No socializing, no high school parties, none of that. So
you caught up, bro.
I caught
you
up.
Got the partying out of the way. Let's move on. It's time for Uncle Chad.
No, yeah.
Papa
Now,
Chad, bro.
now I just get beat up and change diapers, and I would choose that before going out. There's only two places I go now, which would probably be the Warren downtown, and I go to the Gold Mark. That's it. I don't. These kids are out of control, bro.
It is
like
scary.
I knew we were bad, but when someone told us to tone the fuck down, okay. Now they're just doing it for the phone, bro. They're doing it for that video, so they hope they can go viral. They don't even enjoy fucking concerts anymore. Like all you see at concerts is you looking into somebody's back and the phone being up.
Yeah, this is a good part to talk about the Kanye concert when he did Pablo, I believe, where he was on the floating platform, because he was able to take the platform up and around the crowd and then angle it so that everyone could get their photos within the first 15 minutes. So he did one song, he posed for photos for everybody. Everybody put their phones
Dude,
away
I like it.
and
Like,
could
what
rock.
is it? Chappelle Mo?
Yeah, he locks up.
Lock them up. So that's
Yeah.
called this gets into one of my other ideas, which is maybe you could help me with, because it has to do with business. But basically, I want to buy a bunch of Faraday cages and have a show. Maybe I could rent them out to people, but also I could have my own party, which is called Stone Age Brunch or Stone Age Brunch, day party during the summer.
People
we can
just
start in
need.
spring.
It's okay to
Lock
get
up everybody's phones, all vinyl, no
Yeah.
computers, Polaroid cameras on the tables.
It's just like it's great to get a
45s.
picture, bro.
Mo's into it.
Well, Chappelle owns the business that does those bags.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's
Oh,
actually
he's fucking smart. I didn't even know that.
Conflict of interest at this point, because what's happening is, and this has been a problem. This actually just happened when I was with Jeff and Nas was there. Like, basically, Chappelle and all his people get to pull their fucking phones out and record these special moments, and everyone in the audience or people that are there have had their phones locked up. So
Yeah.
now people are complaining, being like, "Yo, if you're asking, you gotta lock everyone." You know?
Absolutely. That's such a good
tough.
point.
Yeah, it's just no
The
fun.
way they did it at Napa, which was really cool, was they actually had, like, it was an outdoor stage and it was backed up so far where you want to use your phone, you just go back beyond that point, right? And anything beyond
cool.
this point, the phones are now they are locked, which worked really well.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't think about that. Like, I just don't like the reason I quit the gold mark has nothing to do with the gold mark. It was just dealing with these kids, man. Like, I be killing myself all night. I got a white claws being dumped and not like splashed into me.
Do you think it's like something that you could fix with a better door policy?
No,
You
it
could
has
just-
nothing to do with the
Well,
gold mark
bro,
or
like,
the
keep certain
establishment.
people out. If
No,
they're gonna be
they
causing
just
problems.
I would come through with 25 shot glasses, bump into somebody, and they just poured a drink on my head. And
That's
that
fucking
day,
terrible,
I looked
man.
at
I can't believe
Nugget.
that shit.
Yeah, it
I
was
would knock
just,
him out. You didn't punch him in the face.
I had 25 glasses in my hands. I couldn't.
Well, you knew who they were.
No,
Shut
I
them
whispered
fuckers
something in his
down and
ear.
keep it
I
moving.
told him he had until I put these glasses down to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
But I knew then my patience was starting to run thin.
Yeah, you can't be around
I'm-
drunk people all the
well,
time.
it's not-
First of
it's
all,
not
it's not
even
good
that.
for you with
I'm
your
also
history of
old.
addiction. Second of all, you're old. Third of all, you're built for bigger things,
Yeah.
right?
But
Like,
I'm
we
not
talked
better.
about
I'm
that.
not better than that place. So
No, you're not better
Okay.
than that place, but you could be a manager.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
management material. You're
Yeah.
somebody who should be in a leadership role. You've
that's
worked
scary.
in businesses your
Yeah.
whole life. You know how money works. You know how people work.
Ooh, shit. But
You know how the ins and outs of business work, but you doubt yourself. You sell yourself short.
I do. I like to play stupid. I figured that out a couple months ago. I play stupid way too much.
Yeah, bro, it's time to move on. First of all, our time is very limited.
Yeah. Well, there was a
Incredibly
time there
limited.
that I didn't care about that, to be honest. There was just so much going on, like to see my family torn apart, and it was not because it wasn't my fault, but it was over me. It's a lot of stress.
But
I'm
it's
just glad I'm not.
time to turn the page on that chapter, man.
Oh no, when my grandfather died,
That's it.
that was it.
Turn the
It just
fucking
took
page,
me
bro.
a little bit to like, you have to. God, we could stay here for 5 hours. So I would get, there's so many intricate things for why I wasn't working back then.
Yeah.
Stories that I don't even want to be public.
Yeah.
Between me and my family, it's just gotten to the point where I have my family. And what's what Wayne said to me?
Wayne.
I have my family. Like Boomer's in San Diego, Julio's in Austin, Mike's now in Florida. I got Amelia and Alex and my barber in Hartford. I got Pierre in DC. I got Wayne, Mo, BT, Uncle Ray, the famous Mo that don't want to be famous. I got you.
Always.
Yeah.
For 100%.
And I'm good, man. I'm just happy. There's some of this stuff I needed to say in public, to be honest with you. It's a little bit of a therapy session for me.
Hey, amen.
But
Hey, we can always do part two. I'm here. I'm here, bro. Come.
I just lived a crazy life, and I have to say this, and there's a reason why I asked Mo to come with me. Partly, is because Mo took me on a trip, and what was it, like 6 months ago?
Was it
Grammys.
Was it the Grammys?
Yeah. He's gonna hate that I'm about to say this. I had zero confidence in myself. I didn't know what I was gonna do. I didn't know where to go without my grandpa. I just didn't have anybody that like believed in me. You know what I mean? Like on like a fraternal level or something. This man over here, it took me to the Grammys with Terry Hunter. And I didn't go to the show, okay? So it's not like that. But I got to spend a week.
Oh, shit. This is the Monos who brought Terry Hunter to Goldmark?
Yeah, man.
Oh, that's crazy. What a great show. Thank you for that. I'm a pretty pretty thick in the Detroit techno scene. Jeff Mills, the Wizard, my buddy Carlton is writing the book about him. Wrote his graduate thesis on him.
Like I said, I love Detroit.
And there's this guy named Abe Kadushin, who's a Pittsburgh guy, who's also pretty heavy in Detroit techno. Goes to the music festival with me a lot. I go to the electronic music festival for the last 20 years. Mm-hmm. And then there's an organization called the Detroit Sound Conservancy, which my buddy Carlton runs or ran.
Listen, I love Detroit. I mean, like I lived in Chicago, so that's more like, I'm the art director of the Frank P. Knuckles Foundation. I do Mike Dunn. I do All the Chosen Few. I do Terry Hunter. Like, those are all my guys.
Incredible. So I was just looking up underground resistance because I was interviewing, like I said, in Detroit. And the woman who was helping me, like, kind of taking me around for the day was asking, you're telling me Motown Museum isn't where it's at. Where should I take people? And I'm like, underground resistance. Like, that's the techno museum that you need to take people. And what's the number one artist there that they honor and respect? Ken Collier. Ken Collier was Detroit's Frankie Knuckles. He was DJing at a club called Club Heaven. And the sound system from Club Heaven is owned by Detroit Sound. It's in process of being refurbished, and they're going to set it up at a new club, new venue.
Sound systems is the thing.
You know about that shit? Yeah. So it's happening, and it's going to be probably in the Bluebird, which is the club that they preserved on Tyerman Street.
I think it's a sacrilege that the only club in this city with a Function 1 sound system doesn't have it tuned properly because they're worried about.
Is that Cobra?
Neighbors. Yeah, they actually have a limiter on it.
I was wondering.
That's what it is. Like, they keep bringing in the DJs, and these DJs get mad because they're like, you're bringing me in on a Function 1 sound system, and it won't do.
Well, remember my buddy, I guess Keebs was posting that he was bringing this big DJ into Cobra, and at the bottom of his post, he's like, by the way, we're bringing these subs in. And I'm like, I just had Bamboo on the podcast. He was telling me he had the best sound system in Pittsburgh, Function 1. Why do you need to add subs? That doesn't make any sense to me.
Whoever set it up, because of the neighbors, because it's in the neighborhood, they had to put a limiter on it. And, like, all someone has to do is go into the program and take the limiter. But nobody, I don't think anybody here does it.
Wow.
So.
Sorry.
No, I don't care. I'm the king of making left turns in the middle of a story, bro. I mean, yeah.
You've kept on track a couple times, though. You're on point, bro.
I'm trying.
Yeah, Chad's been doing really good.
So
I'm the architect of the swerve.
Well, there's like
swerving.
like I could say a lot. I'm not trying to cut my story off and go back. I could say a lot about my family.
You have,
but no. Like, look at me. It's taken everything within me not to go full blast because I literally spoke to my dad for 30 minutes the other day.
Dope.
I kind of want to hear more about the Grammys.
I'm going there. I'm gonna give Mo his props.
Yeah, what did you learn from the Grammys?
I went to the Grammys. Not only did I get to see my brother out there and stay with him, and that's nice because I had not seen him in 2.5 years because of COVID.
You told me you just had a sister.
No, well, Mike's my big brother. Like, Bethany's my sister too, but she ain't my sister.
Got it.
Yeah, Mike's always. He's just here. This is how I know Mike. You'll like this story. I went to a club called the Hippodrome in Springfield, Massachusetts. It's the Heinz Hall of Springfield. It's where they used to do all the Hall of Fame stuff because the NBA Hall of Fame is there.
Dope.
But they turned this place into a nightclub called the Paramount Theater. But it was called the Hippodrome nightclub.
Mm. Hippodrome is some Greek or
Yeah,
Roman thing,
something.
right?
So dude, they would have wet t-shirt content, the whole thing, bro. And I went up one day, and I had the whole basketball team with me, and my couple of friends from the soccer team who lived close, who were from up there. So I was like, cool, we'll go up to Springfield, right? I have my car with big system in it. Get up there, and I was like, how much for a bottle of Moet? I was like happy, right? He was like, so-and-so. Mike was the person I was asking. And I was like, how much for a case? This is where the salesman comes in. He goes, so you want to buy a full case? I'll give you a discount. I'm like, full case. 2 of them.
Holy shit.
So I ordered 2 cases of Moet. This is $99. Shit was not, it's not pricey. Like if I couldn't even tell you how much I spent. It's probably like
Couple thousand.
couple thousand.
The go rate was $100 a bottle back then.
Yeah.
'Cause I used to buy bottles.
So I think he probably gave it to me for like $85.90 a bottle. I bought 2 cases that night. Nobody had drinks. They had their own bottle of champagne.
How many bottles of champagne are in a case?
12. So I bought 24. Yeah. So we had a great time. Took a couple girls home that first night. And I was waiting for my dad to call me because I had the credit card. I had the company credit card.
Did you put the Moet on the company card?
Yeah. I
Oh,
mean,
Jesus.
well, the first time, because I was like, fuck it, if I get in trouble once, cool, we had a good night, right? And I got a phone call. Never happened. Go back the next, every Thursday and Saturday. Go back Saturday. Ordered 2 more boxes.
You kept doing it.
Kept doing it. And I would do some coke back then, and some ecstasy was real big. It was getting so bad that I had a complete section that they turned 4 sections into 1 section for me with a bed in the middle.
What club is this?
Called the Hippodrome. They
Where
would
is
bring
it?
me.
Where is it?
It's in Springfield, Massachusetts, downtown Springfield, Massachusetts. Beautiful.
This was like peak Chad.
No, this is Chad. First time out of his parents' control, nightlife, everything I love about everything. Lights. It always goes back to me. Light,
yeah.
sound, action.
Yeah. Yeah.
The club. Perfect
or
place.
movies, right? Or the movie.
Nah.
No good?
Nah.
It's fake.
Yeah. Not like that. There's no action like a nightclub or or backstage at a concert. People have zero idea, not to get off topic, what it takes to put on one of those concerts. Like nothing. Like, dude, I almost got trucked my first concert I went to with Bonix and Wiz. I almost got trucked by the people taking shit to the truck. Like, I didn't understand. I was high and walking around.
My
Dude,
my sister used to do that. Used to grip for punk bands out of Baltimore.
They were bringing me drugs.
Used to date Ponytail.
They were bringing me drugs under like the platinum platter. They lifted up. Like that's how much money I was spending in this place. Okay. I was spending so much money in this place that when I left school and I came back 2 years later, I was with my boy Al Brooks. You know who Al Brooks?
Yeah.
He was like, dog, I'm not standing in that line. I was like, line, bro. He's like, dude, you haven't been here for like 2 years. I was like, motherfucker. I walk up. Mr. Simon. Mr. Simon, what are you doing here? Mr. Simon's here. Mr. Simon's here. They kicked 5 people out of their sections, bro. Like, I felt so bad, but I also felt like it was fucking man. So my brother Mike was the manager of the Hippodrome.
Okay.
That's how we became close.
Fun. What was the lesson from the Grammys you didn't quite get to?
Well, no, that's what I'm going back to. I had no confidence. I also had no idea what I was getting myself into besides... So the first, I forget the person's name, so you're going to have to help me here. The first thing I go and meet up with Mo for Grammy Week, Terry was getting honored. And in the meantime, Terry gave Mo his props publicly, which
Dope.
That man does not like.
Dope.
And people kept coming up and shaking my fucking hand. Like, important people. Like, I just sat down. Everybody's dressed up. Now, you have to understand, Mo don't dress up. Even if he's on the job, it's sweats and a t-shirt unless it's like somebody's like blatant.
I like those kicks though.
That's New York, baby. And I'm in like a sweatshirt or like a black tee and Nike Techs, right? Beard, forgot to get my haircut. Beard is like
neck beard on fleek.
Oh yeah, my beard was bushy. It was bushy. And people kept, oh man, I ain't seen. I mean, just got there,
They
bro.
thought you were Jonah Hill or what?
No, they thought
DJ Immaculate.
they thought I was Terry Hunter's business partner, DJ Immaculate. Now I'm talking about important people.
Cool.
Who's the dude that ran the Andes with the bald head?
That's
Duplay.
Victor Duplay, yeah.
Victor Dude, I'm recognizing these people. They're shaking my head.
Yeah.
I'm thinking so.
So you had fun pretending to be somebody important.
No,
and
I
it
wasn't
gave you your
pretending.
mojo back.
No, that's not what it was.
Then get to the fucking.
I am going to get to
Chad.
the point because I'm sitting there, right? And then all these people want to start taking pictures with me.
Yep.
And I go to all these other events, and motherfuckers are all nice to me. I'm like, I'm good. Because the problem was I've been doubting myself.
Yes.
For a very long time.
Big time.
So the fact that Mo trusted me, but not only did he trust me, I became really cool with some people. Dude, it was the most amazing week of my life. And I've done some shit. You know that. I've been on the road with Brandon and stuff like that. And
but this was another level. Like the Grammys is like you.
Dude,
who did you see there? You saw The Weeknd.
I saw, dude.
Dua Lipa.
Dude, it wasn't even that. It's just all the way
Taylor
you
Swift.
get like picked up and dropped off. The access. Like
red carpets.
Bro, yeah, man. Like I saw my guy M80, who's the A&R for Wu-Tang and a couple other people. Like,
oh, we talk about Wu-Tang a lot with PK. We were talking about who the core members are. Who do you think the core members of Wu-Tang are? RZA, Jizza, Inspectah Deck, You God, Raekwon. ODB. Who else?
Method Man.
You think Method is a core? Or more like slightly off
Method
core?
Man's core.
Okay, core.
Raekwon.
Yeah, we said Raekwon.
Method Man was from a different hood. So
Exactly.
Yeah,
He's not from Shaolin.
I know, but he's
So I'm not sure he's poor.
Or in YDB, don't leave him out either. Young dirty bastard. He's a cool dude though.
There's a bunch of non-cores though. There's this whole like inner circle.
Well,
and
you
there's
have like
an outer
Capadonna
circle.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like, it was just the access, dude. It was wild being there. And him and Wayne, two New Yorkers, same thing. I'll give the same quote about the most lovable assholes you'll ever meet in your life. So, yeah, that was a good one. And then besides that, man, if you're a single guy in your 40s, go to Colombia.
Oh shit! Is that where? Have you been going to? What is it? South America?
Yeah, that was the greatest 14 days of my entire life.
The guy I used to live by. This guy who sold these fat bikes in Deerfield Beach, Florida.
Yeah.
He sold these fat bike tires, and he had a place in like Colombia. He would just fly back and forth.
Listen,
he said
man.
it was like they treated him so good. His money would go really far.
Listen, money goes very far there.
Yeah, he could like buy a place for $100,000.
Everybody's happy there.
Yeah.
They work hard. They drink. They go home.
Yeah.
And they do it again. There's not a problem. It ain't like it used to be.
Then
Now,
why are
did
they all
I?
coming here?
They can't. There's a two and a half to 3 year waiting limit for visas now. Trust me, I tried to get somebody to come back with me.
No, there's a new app that they're using. It's called like, OBP.
They're not allowed anymore. It does not apply to Colombia. It's considered a narco state. It's 3 years minimum. They have to do 15 interviews at the U.S. Embassy.
That's why they're all coming illegally. There
Yeah.
are 2 million illegal immigrants into America
not getting
this
into
year
that shit.
and last year. 2 million. 2 million.
I want to come here too.
That's what I'm saying.
No,
we're,
but
we're very lucky.
I'll be
what we
honest with
have.
you. My boy that I went down there with, who's Chevy's cousin, Stevie B, who's a fucking legend. He just moved there. Dude, he bought, he is getting, I'm not putting all this business out. He is getting a house down there for like $150,000.
Yeah, it's like a
That'd be like $4 million here.
Yep, and you get security.
Well, let me tell
and
you.
you have like
And the women.
a cook and yeah.
The women.
A lot of surgery.
I
though,
don't.
right? Like
No.
everybody's got surgery.
No. It's more people go there for the surgery. Like I'm going there to get my teeth done. My teeth are jacked up from the coke. So, yeah, it's more foreigners down there for the surgery than them. They're naturally gorgeous.
I trust you.
But like, dude, it's a beautiful country.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I'm Jewish. I went ATVing in a fucking forest. Okay, Jewish people don't do that. Okay, I don't care what anybody says. Food's cheap. New York strips $7 American. You can eat like a king. You can live like a king. Everybody's fucking happy. The only bad thing I'll tell you is driving, bro.
What's wrong
Those
with the driving?
motherfuckers cannot drive.
Did you have a car?
No, there's Uber, and there's
They have Uber in Colombia?
Yeah, and only so many people sign up to drive Uber there because it's a poor country.
Yeah.
That you have time slots. And if you drive outside of your time slot and the police pull you over, you go to jail for like 2 years.
Anything you want to tell the people?
Besides that, you're one of the smartest individuals
Oh, thanks, Chad.
I've ever met in my life, and you're a
Love you,
great
bro.
person.
Yeah, thank you, man.
And we'll do part 2 because I'll get into the bullshit.
I'm ready.
I've talked enough.